Good evening, everyone. Our speaker will join shortly, so we are just waiting for participants to join. So just wait for 5 minutes. We will start within 5 minutes. Good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Pooja, Associate Professor at MMICTBM Maharishi Markandeshwar BMTUP University, Mulana, and it gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to the day 4 of our AICT Atal FDP program on Advanced Computing for Sustainable Development, AI-driven innovations in real-life applications. A very warm welcome to all the distinguished participants, faculty members, and resource persons joining us today for this session. Over the past few days, we have journeyed through some truly insightful sessions, beginning with the theoretical foundation of AI, moving into computational approaches for AI driven sustainability, exploring AI for smart and sustainable cities, engaging hands on in developing AI workflows with no code platforms, and reflecting on the principles of green computing and future trends. Each session has deepened our understanding of how artificial intelligence can be harnessed to build a more sustainable and intelligent world. Today, we are privileged to host a session on the role of cybersecurity in advancing sustainable development goals. We are truly honored to have with us Dr. Anup Girdhar as our distinguished speaker for today. Dr. Anup is CEO and founder of Sedulity Solutions and Technologies, a distinguished cyber crime investigator, cybersecurity and forensics consultant, and editor in chief of Cyber Times newspaper and Cyber Times International Journal of Technology and Management. With over 30 years of experience, he holds a PhD, MPhil, and MC in computer science. He has delivered more than 1,000 trainings across government departments, law enforcement agencies, PSUs, and corporate organizations in India and abroad, including CBI, DRDO, BSF, and NSSG. Internationally, he has trained professionals in South Africa, Singapore, Nigeria, and several other countries, and he has published over 75 research papers and 50 technical articles. Dr. Gibson is also the recipient of a granted Australian patent, and he has four other patents filed in the field of cybersecurity and computing systems. He serves as a research guide for doctoral and postgraduate scholars and has authored multiple academic books and study materials for IGNOU, TMB Pune, and other universities. His area of expertise include cybersecurity, cyber forensics, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and cyber law. We are truly honored to have Dr. Girdhar with us today to share his expertise on behalf of the organizing committee and MMICTBM MMD Mulana. I extend a warm welcome to you, sir. Now, welcome, sir. Now, I would like to hand over the session to our speaker so that he can enlighten us with his knowledge.
Thank you, Dr. Pooja, and thank you to the entire members of Molana Institute and all the dignities on the online session. So, thank you for giving me the privilege to interact with the eminent, I think, gathering, I would say, and all the faculties from the various different, I think, institutions are there. Can you just brief about the faculties? Means, are they from Molana institution, or are they from various other institutions as well?
Sir, we have faculties from Mulana institution as well as from several other institutions from different states also.
Okay, okay, wonderful, wonderful. So I think in that regard, I would like to talk more on then in case of research. I'll talk about more futuristic technologies also on the topic. So thank you. It's been indeed a pleasure to be a part of Maharishi Markande Maulana University and the entire team. And thank you to Atal, FDPs, and AICT. uh, I was already associated with various universities and various academic bodies like AICTE, UGC. So I'm a advisory and board of studies member with various universities. So apart from my law enforcement connectivity, my other research works, and also I'm into with some academics. So it's always indeed a pleasure to talk all the faculties. And luckily I was also working in the various different domains. So recently I have seen one of in the conference, I was in the conference, I found like 15 plus scientists working in Ministry of IT. Luckily they were my student, and they are working under Ministry of IT. Certain there is a department called CERT, Computer Emergency Response Team, and they took at least a training for a year or above at least with us, and they were associated with us, and they did a lot of practicals and projects on cybersecurity with us. So in other way, we produce scientists for Government of India, and I think in 6 plus scientists I found in DRDO. So I have already produced 20 plus scientists for Government of India. This is how like we used to as a professor, I think that is one of the achievement which we always try to enlight, that these are the areas where we are focused and we are connected. Well, if we'll talk about today's topic, then this topic is a very very important and very wonderful topic, and I think we need to talk more in depth of this topic because That is the area where people feel that let us start new projects, let us start about sustainability development. So whenever we are talking about sustainability development, how many of us are really aware of this SDG model? Are you aware of SDG? That is from United Nation. There is a sustainability development goals are there. I hope all the professors are already gone through with those things. There are 17 major goals. So, if I'll talk about sustainability development goals, that is what we discuss about SDG, right? The short word of SDG, that is Sustainable Development Goal. In fact, if you do a Google, you will find there are 17 different goals which are assigned by United Nations, and because India is also the part of United Nation, in India there is a department called Niti Aayog. I hope you are aware of. There is a department called Niti Aayog, and they people are already focused and working on these criteria where they decide the planning commission and all other things with the Niti Aayog. So all the things are going on, and just because of that, especially on the sustainable development goals, uh, on these 17 different targets, different goals, the government actually announced a lot of projects, lot of investments, lot of projects are there which are correlated to sustainability. And whenever we are focusing on these sustainable models, so I think you for the reference, as I have to start with the topic with the especially the advanced computing techniques, and especially with the role of cybersecurity, because my area and proficiency is in cybersecurity. Luckily, I'm also associated with Ministry of Power. So NTPI, training institutions, and Ministry of Power, even some PSUs like Power Grid and all, I was already associated and deliver a lot of trainings and consultancies to these organizations, where I identified they already have a great plans. So I'm not saying that they are not onto it. They are already onto it and they are doing their great jobs. But the problems, the challenges
तो
which
रिया आप
they are,
बैठूंगा मैं आपको जब भी इतना ही दिखाएगा ब्लड फ्लो कुछ नहीं है यार लगाने में दिक्कत है बैठो दोबारा
yeah, now am I audible? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I identified like in Ministry of Power, people are working in a very different aspects, and they are talking about digital grids. They are talking about various different aspects. Even Government of India already for ministries and especially for electricity board. So there is the CEA 2021 guidelines are also being imposed on cyber security. So these are the areas where the hybrid mode is required, because everything is now shifting to the digital world. Your electricity is also being connected, your grids are already connected with the digital world. So take it like renewable energy. You take it like one of my PhD scholar did a research and she got awarded. That PhD is already available on Shodh Ganga also. So, under my supervision as a main guide, five PhDs were already awarded, and I supervise two more scholars as a co-guide. So, almost seven PhDs were awarded under my supervision. Right. So one of my PhD scholar was working on the water quality index. So we worked on the water quality index part using AI. So I think Dr. Pooja also explained that in the previous speakers already talked about a lot of AI augmentation and enhancement techniques, identification, making your work quite easy. See, the making work easy, augmentation of AI is not a bad deal. It's a really good to go. But the problem, if you really focus today I would like to show you some practicals also. The practicals which are related to sustainable issues, the practicals related to your IoT issues, the practical related to AI issues, right? That how it is basically vulnerable and how it becomes hackable. And the day it becomes hackable, because everything has been, bottlenecked these days. If you talk about AI technology, you're giving your all thought process to AI agents, and generative AI models, LLM models, are going to generate a lot of ideas, lot of technology, lot of content on that basis. I also wrote a book on conversational AI. So we are already working, and I connected to some engineering colleges, and that is a course curriculum to various engineering colleges where students are doing their BTech final year, or MTech students are there, who use my book. And I suggest, and I gave some visiting, as a visiting faculty, sometimes I go and I deliver certain sessions to them, right? So excuse me, my throat is not well, so probably there is a little hassle for my vocal issues, because we belongs to Delhi, and Delhi is full of other, climatic issues, which is again the challenge for the sustainable development model. Right. So what is sustainable development? See, today, the opening a new project, announcing new project, engaging new projects, development of the new projects, facing that projects is quite good to go. It's like quite easy because you have already augmented with AI. The real challenge comes across the sustainable model, how you sustain and maintain that particular standards which has already been decided, and to be get prevented, and the various different level of attacks, the third part, internal threats, external threats, the level of common vulnerabilities, because you're using common applications. So what about those attacks? Where is the level of data, and are we really compliant? Because compliance is also the challenge for the sustainability development. So we'll talk about some real time challenges, and I'll talk about some more concern of what is this cybersecurity all about. I'll quickly share my slide. I'll use some slides, common, some basic slides. I'll talk more on that. And then I would like to show you that how your privacy got breached. So today I'll go you and show you a live practicals that see your privacy got breached like anything. Whatever we are doing, we really want, India want the Make in India or Digital India kind of projects, and we have to take it, you know Swadeshi products, and we have to adopt those kind of technology, because that is what lacking today. I think you all agree with my points. We all are professors. I think right now 108 participants are there, and we all are professors, and even we have a great degrees. We are working in the great part of our domain side, right? But still, the bad luck. I think we all are somewhere from the computer science background, or uh, any nearby any technical background. That is not an issue. But the concern, what is there today? Still, we people are using WhatsApp. Today, we still using Google. Today, we still using 90% above applications which are being derived from USA, right? And other applications or hardwares mostly being derived from either by China or various other providers. Again, that is not make in India. So the real challenge in India is basically to make it sustainable, to maintain. To launch a project is not a big deal. Government can only launch a project, but who will manage, who will make it sustainable, who will make it on a realistic basis? What is the It's not like, probably you people are also having a lot of patents. I also have, I think, 4 or 5 good patents. Only the challenge is it our patent is sellable? Only the challenge is it really working in the real world, or is it just on the documentation? So mostly that is a big challenge, because we are onto that product, we have a great knowledge, but only the problem where we are lacking, Indians are lacking, that we are not presentable, we are not consumable, we are not synchronized with the policies, government policies or standards or protocols, due to which our product is not a sustainable product, our model is not a completely acceptable or adaptable product. And even the moment any mishappening, any attack, any cyber attack or any kind of attack being committed, even we are not compliant to make our evidences admissible to the court. So these are the real time challenges which we are facing. I'm a on record trainer with various law enforcement agencies, and I found the big products, very expensive products, security products. I'm talking about intrusion detection systems. I'm talking about IDS, IPS, firewalls. I'm talking about like big products like Cisco or Juniper or FortiGate, a big heavy products which are being deployed for the data centers, carrying a lot of vulnerabilities. I'll share one of my research paper, you will find that is also along with one of my scholar, and she also got awarded. We worked on the VPN vulnerabilities and exposures, and we identified the major vulnerabilities which has already been identified. What about untraced vulnerabilities? What about untraced malwares? So if we really talk about these things, I think you will able to know what are the real time challenges. So I quickly share my screen. I would like to share my screen. I have not shared. So and I'll show you some more uh, backgrounds and all other details. I hope my screen is visible to all right now. Right?
Yes,
You
sir.
got thumbnail, or yes, if anyone can unmute and answer, would be great. Thank you. Thank you. So, just quickly, I would like to give you an insight. Can you see this, my screen? This is basically India's first operating system designed by us. So we are into, means I remember I started my programming part and my first project in 1994. I was working on 80286 machine, 80286, with I believe not more than 2 MB RAM, only 2 MB RAM, and that hard disk was 40 MB, maximum 40 MB, where we deployed from the floppies. I deployed Unix, Santa Cruz Operational Unix, SCO 3.2, I remember, which was designed in 1956. And there I prepared one of the project for Indian Army, for one of the big lab of Indian Army, where they used to buy computers along with the printer. So I prepared a one CUPS services. Today, I think you know the concepts of CUPS services if you are Linux user. So that is common Unix printing services, right? So common printing Unix services, that is called CUP services. So that was a device driver writing I did for a Epson LX800 printer, and I tried to make it a centralized printer on 80286 machine. So that was a time where I took almost 2 months to just to do a device driver writing. So I'm talking about, I think in 1994 it was, so it means almost 31 years, 31 years back I started working and on Linux. And in 2011, I filed a patent also on this part. And now we have a 10th version. Presently, we have a 10th version, and we have our own Indian operating system, Sedulity operating system. And I know very well, I think you never heard of, or probably if any professor who already connected and attend my sessions, my previous session, because I connected to entire academic universities, I think more than if I am not wrong, 2000 plus sessions somewhere connected to all engineering colleges and universities. So, Pan India, I have already shared and delivered to all the renowned institutions. Right. So, if probably you heard my session somewhere, and you might have seen this operating system. But again, we are dealing with the B2B model. We are not in B2C presently. because again, we need funding. We are not good in marketing, we are good in technology, but our products at least make it a real time product. Same way, we are connecting and we are finding the real time gaps. And I will share some products which we have designed with some institution. So I would love to share those real time projects, and at least you can able to understand what is that all about, right? And quickly, if you are already aware, that is good to go. But if you are not aware, that is the UN SDGs, that is sustainable development goals, that is in context to India. So I think you can see this screen. It is nothing but all that SDG being pointed on 17 SDGs, which was already available with the Niti Aayog coordination. You can see the all 17. I think because this topic is quite open and a very important topic, and I think you all are aware of. My concern is I'm trying to correlate the things with cybersecurity. So that is what my goal is, my objective is. So quickly, I'll share my presentation. This is so the today's topic is, like I was just giving you the idea, what is this topic all about? The role of cybersecurity in advanced sustainable development goals. So this is how we are going to work on it. And my objectives on this topic is to align the cybersecurity principles with the UN sustainable goals. And now you have to think about, like, that is what we are going to work. And I already work on a couple of projects, like I told you about energy, renewable energy, or especially with Ministry of Power, or water quality index. One of my scholar who completed the PhD on and we propose a new model, we propose a new level of water quality with various different parameters using machine learning AI, and we try to augment. And today, we again, she also one of my scholar, she also applied now more patents, and that is being accepted and adaptable by Maharashtra government right now, for again, to make it sustainable. And for any particular disaster, in case of water supplies, how you can make or convert your supplies into a valuable water, drinkable water. So Maharashtra means they are again already, they are grabbing their water from the sea. So sea water to drinkable water, or various other things where the things are working. So we already work on a great detail. That entire thesis, that dissertation is available on Shodh Ganga. So you can go and access my name over there, and I think you will find that. Right. Explore AI driven approaches to strengthen your cybersecurity for the sustainable digital infrastructure. See, you already have infrastructures for sustainable, like you talk about uh, various other IoT gadgets, you talk about edge computing, you talk about fog computing. Have you heard about these type of computing? Cloud computing, probably you heard about. But once you connect to the edge or fog computing, that is related to a particular area, and that entire area is connected to a proper, a particular, a specific, isolated kind of a network. And that network is generating certain data, and that data has to be collected. So first is collection of information, then processing of that information. After processing, we have to basically identify the malicious behavior of that information, and accordingly we need to report and mitigate. And in case if there is a disaster, that the data is missing or being removed, so can we able to recover it, can be able to process it, and can be able to make a 0-day vulnerability. So target is to work on sustainable network with 0-day mitigation. For that, if you really want to augmentation, you go for augmentation. I'll suggest a lot of projects also today, so that you can understand what type of topics I'm talking all about, right? So what is the best practice today? Whatever is there, whatever, take my words, after 2 years or 3 years down the line, you will not see these common products. All the products being get a new versions or new updates, which are again AI ML based updates. Almost same application where we were working, I think from last 15-20 years back, or 25 years back, I have seen those application that has been revamped. Same application with the name of AI, because now the automation, now the quality, now the prediction analysis, sentiment analysis, behavior analysis. So analytical part has already been augmented. Your data science has already been augmented. Your ML, your RAG models for AI, and many AI agent. So agenting and agents part has been overloaded with the automation models, so that you can able to extract a lot of information. I'll share some case studies and real time problems with the investigation agencies. So I'm an on record trainer with like Delhi Police cyber cell, and all IO from Delhi, if they face any inconvenience in terms of technology, so they can connect. They have my number in their phones. They already saved my number in their phone. So this is the way how we are associated, and we are supporting to these organizations, right? So what is the area where the digital infrastructure, especially for the sustainable digital infrastructure, really is it sustainable? What are the areas? How you decide whether it works or not? Today it's a digital gadget. Today it is working, tomorrow if it is not, do you have the backups? And for how long you have the backups? Do you have a plan A, plan B, plan C? Or like a disaster, one single cut or one single attempt of any attack, probably you are out of your services, you will not able to manage how it is happening. So we want sustainable models, right? So AI is good to go. AI is going to augment your all the applications, but think about what is the functionality, how AI performs, how it works, and that content is hackable or not. So we need to think about these things. And already we got some cases where we have seen some AI agents being hacked. Already we are getting those cases, AI agents being hacked. And you can't imagine, our enforcement agencies need a lot of things to learn, lot of things to learn. So that is the best practice where we are associated. And for the area of research, there are huge gap. Nothing is 0 day mitigation for today, if I'll talk about. So attack happens, and once it happens, if we have a trained engines in according to AI, if you have a ML and trained engines, and if it is the same signatures being matched in those trained engines, then we got the alerts. This is how it is happening. But if it is a new pattern, new concept, new behavior, how can you identify those untraced malwares or untraced behaviors of any intruders where they are trying to penetrate your infrastructure? Have you heard about there is a one attack also in Jammu? It happens in Jammu. That is a the grid, power grid got hacked. Power grid got hacked in Jammu. So very rare cases for electrical grounds, because the digital grids being already being imposed on the back end. But what about front end? But I hope you must have seen a lot of some English movies where you have seen some hacking movies, and you must have seen that red lights being compromised, or any in fact some hospital devices, so MRI machines got compromised, so healthcare got compromised. Because, and even that is one of the biggest disaster in India also. Have you heard about AIMS database got hacked? AIMS Delhi database got hacked, and that was available on dark web. So think about, that is the, what about my privacy? What about my content? Who will take care of it? So how we can say whatever the information we are sharing to these infrastructure, and we are going towards AI driven infrastructure, is it equipped to be secured enough? No, not at all. Not at all. I will show you something live, and you will see that almost you all are hacked. You are already all are hacked. I will show you practical today. Before I wind up the session, I will show you your present scenario. Presently, shall I show you which video you watched yesterday night? Where were you at yesterday night, or day before yesterday, or last 7 days, or a month, or even shall I show you the detail about your last 3 years? Simply, I can hack your data like anything. Because We are associated with IoTs. We are associated with all internet based driven models. So that is what my privacy is, one of the part of SDGs. My health is a part of SDGs. My data records, my health record, my banking accounting records, my other academic records is a part of my privacy. My passwords, my digital signatures are the part of the privacy, right? Is it really safe enough? Or because the AI has already been augmented, it is not only for the innovation, hackers are also adopting the same technologies. And if hackers can use that level of infrastructure, take my words, if you are already aware of some cryptographic algorithms, like you are talking about RS algorithm or high tech in algorithms, I have already associated with the Indian Army, and I have seen a great look and feel, great algorithms, even which you cannot predict what level of algorithms they are maintaining. But take my words, if today we are with the quantum computing, that is quite easy to compromise. Quite easy to compromise. Right? RSA get brute forced. It was a time where we we notice and we claim, people used to claim that RSA 64-bit algorithm, if you really want to apply a brute force on it with the latest machines, latest servers, it will take 2 into 10 is power 56 years. So almost impossible if you go for a RSA breach, decryption and all. But today we have quantum computing available quite it's quite handy because of cloud computing environment. And if you are onto it, where are the gaps? And that is the area where we can go for a research, we can go for a real-time solution, real-time problem statements. So that is the challenge where we have to explore all these things. The other point which I want to focus, like, to identify the key research gaps for the futuristic directions in the domain of cybersecurity and SDG interlinkage. So that is what I want to talk about, like the data set, SDG functionalities, working methodologies, and the gaps and the futuristic directions on the domain of cybersecurity. See, cybersecurity, my PhD is in cybersecurity in forensics, and uh, what I feel, cybersecurity is not a domain, although it becomes a domain and we are earning from that same domain, right? That is my bread and butter. But my concern is cybersecurity is not a core domain. Core domain is already a sustainable models that is already there. But to mitigate the attacks, to give you a shield on those existing domains or core domains or core engineering models, right? What all we need the layer of cybersecurity. So cybersecurity required everywhere, everywhere, whatever you are doing, it hardly matters you are from whatever domain, right? So take it like that, take it in, if you take it that content in that particular direction, then you would understand what is the significant role of cybersecurity in SDG interlinkage and all. We have to develop a high tech facility, faculty capability. So another problem, we are the, you know the youth icons, we are connected with the youth. And I think you quite agree with me, today youth is not ready to learn and listen your classes. They are not at all connected with your classes unless and until it becomes quite interesting. The only problem, you can make it interesting, but they are not interested to listen about you. This is your, I think today we are talking about Gen Z issues and other issues. Come on, these generation issues were already there. We also have the generation issues with our parents, and the same hierarchical part. After 10 years or probably 15 years, you will find the drastic change over there, right? So don't talk about these Gen Zs, but what we are supposed to talk about, can we make it more realistic model, and can we indulge at least those students who are really willing to study, at least indulge those people in your research part. I'll guarantee your research would also be boosted like anything. and you will get a quality paper, quality research, quality models. Make more, think about the thing which has already been connected, or you make a one AI model. It won't work unless and until you are not purified, you are not filtered, you are not correlated. So talk about your population size or your sample size. Are you really connected and identified your Z scores in your research part? What is your the size, sample size? That is what the challenge. At least basic standards need to be implemented, but this is all what you have done in your academic part. My concern is that is more realistic, make it practical, make it adaptable within the industry, and then only you can say that yes, something is good for the research part. So all the faculties, their capabilities need to be connected with this interdisciplinary models, and we need a collaboration, we need a hybrid techniques. Without that we can't do everything, right? Integrate your cyber ethics. Now, are we really cyber ethics? We all are cyber citizen. We are Indian citizen, that is a different case altogether, but we are also having the cyber citizenship. All right, we are already having some footprints on the globe. And take my word, anything which has been uploaded on any digital gadget, and if it is connected to internet, that never deletes. It exists online and always sustainable. So my only concern is I need a promotion of that data, or I need to make it deprecated or deprave in such a way so that it should not be flashed in the front of the screen. Are you able to approach that level of data or not? So there is a, that is why we have a topic like you know a surface web, deep web or dark web models, where your data exists, how you access, what are their cyber ethics. So what about digital trust? If today you are sharing your information, your Aadhaar card or your any KYC information to your bank or the employees of the bank or your organization, what about digital trust? How can you assure that data has been only used for that particular purpose? Did you ever try to access that how many SIMs have been already allotted to you on your Aadhaar ID? Did you ever identify it? Do you know how many accounts or third party websites are being connected with you and they're hacking your information? I'll show you all these things. So what about digital trust? That is a big challenge. Sustainable. So today we are in the data era. This is another era, data era, right? Everybody's greedy about data, everybody's hacking your data. Then why not a digitalized infrastructure or sustainable infrastructure? And just to make a loopholes, some backdoors, and they'll not hack or create a one panic or disaster for a one go. They want continuous data, they want real time data. So hackers are more focusing on real time data. That is why no such malware pop-ups on your machine or on your mobiles and you feel that you are secure, but actually you are hacked on a day-to-day basis. On every particular second you are hacked. I'll show you certain examples and then you understand what I'm talking about. So this is what like how the objective of this session. I divided my topics into the 10 major topics. So first is cybersecurity with the UN Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. I'll talk about digital infrastructure security for the sustainable part, artificial intelligence for sustainable cybersecurity model, ethics, digital privacy, and human rights. What is your privacy? Do you know about your laws? What is cyber law? And in case if your privacy got breached, under which section, under where you have to approach, what you have to do, what is your next steps, apart from making it the environment where you become a victim and then you're suffering. No, don't need, you need not to suffer, you have to approach to the right authorities, to the right people. So we need to learn, we need to understand how it works. Data governance policies and cybersecurity frameworks. We'll talk about cybersecurity, climate technology, and energy sustainability also. So, what is climate technology? Today, AQI, WQI, we are facing all the challenges, right? Have you heard about? I think there is a machine of AQI, especially for Delhi. I'm not sure what the exact value, but I found, and one of the person who is working in that particular department told me that they have a limit of 500 value. That is the maximum value of those machine, maximum limit of those machine to identify the maximum AQI. That is of 500. After that it won't go further. Although, so I think last year that disaster came across, and Delhi AQI somewhere reached to 1,000 plus, but there was no such parameters, no such gadgets. So that was being innovated and to be calculated in a regular format, in a different format with the augmentation of that same devices. But that is just a basic prototype, not an official products, some prototype, and it actually shows the level of 1,000 plus AQI. See, in the entire globe, we are under disaster. Our climate technology is on a hike. Every year we are facing same problems. So can't we have solution? Can't we make it sustainable model? Do we all have the solution? I guarantee you, make us good solution. That is what IIT Kanpur and Delhi government tried, at least, the artificial rain model. But they, that first project was a, I would not say the failure, but they have not think about that particular part, because the level of moisture need to be maintained up to that, and that was not calculated, and that moisture was not created on the sky, and that is why the artificial rain was not up to that mark. So the failures are the next level. Don't worry, don't get fear from the failures. At least we had an attempt. We, the government is working on some solution with academic, with IIT Kanpur, the people started working on it. So that is what, why not your organization, why not your environment, why not you be a member of such projects? And that is what sustainable model. You have to come and you have to show your caliber, connect with the real time practicals apart from your operational work. I know all the faculties are massively engaged, 80% they are engaged with the operational work, and that is why I decided to connect with the academic, but not to be as a main professor. Means I have the option. It was a time where I have the option to become one of the professor with IITs, IIT Delhi especially, and I also have the option where I can work with Microsoft. But I left over. I would love to be a freelancer. I opened my organization. I started my as an entrepreneur, because I want to be more into the practical implementation rather than getting into that operational work. So I know you people are quite exhausted and occupied with the other operational work, but along with that, research is also the part of your job work. Think about how you can maintain that level of sustainability, right? We, that is what sustainable model, we have to create that sustainable model. We have to make some timelines, right? And accordingly we need to perform on that basis. So that is what the other level where we have to think about. Think about digital grids, switching of digital grid, how electricity is working on it, energy sustainability. Today you must have seen, like, there is no power cut, not major power cuts. In case if there is any fault in the electricity supply, so that grid is down, but at the same instance, or within the fraction of a minute or so, you'll get the again electricity back, because the other grid, your request, your area request has been switched to the other grids. This is how power grid is managing, and all these organization, ministry of power is managing all these things. Sustainable, make it renewable energy. From your energy you can generate new energy. I have seen one of the college somewhere in Sonipat, and luckily one of the retired scientists from DRDO was luckily in our panel, and I was talking to him, and he decided to make a Karnal highway, especially your Karnal highway, right? And what they have proposed to the government, I think that government have not initiated, I don't know what's the reason, that's a different case. But what they did, just in the entry gate of their college. Just on the entry gate of their college, the buses are coming in your college, the vehicles are moving in your college or moving in and out, right? So whenever that level of pressure, so one car is somewhere 1000 kg, at least 1000 to 1000 kg, your weight of the car. And what about the bus? Almost 10,000 kg. If you give that level of pressure, if we'll get a pressure, the pressure can be converted into electricity, right? Did you ever
हमारे
try
पहले
to think
जाना
about? Yes, please. uh, yes, am I audible now?
yes
Yes,
sir
sir.
yes
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I think somewhere some. Okay, so so think about, this is one of the real-time project being committed just in Sonipat, it very near to you people, and in Haryana it has already been implemented. So I was amazed to see that kind of project where they are trying to deploy, the electricity boosters, and then they are saving that electricity and make it sustainable from the pressure converted to an electricity. And through that they are running their in the night, there all the halogen lamps being placed in their campus, being powered by those that level of electricity. See the way how they save the electricity. So I think we can talk about various different technologies, but only the problem is your infrastructure, and that infrastructure is to be managed by digital form. And if it is digital, if it is with IoT, then attacks are quite possible. So we have to define a due diligence steps. We have to define a due diligence policies, standards for mitigating all the cyber related threats to your infrastructure. That is what the purpose is, to correlate the things with your projects, right? I think a lot of other topics which I have already explained, and I'll come to the major point. Just take a look about the goals of the cybersecurity with UN sustainable model. So I'll specifically, out of 17 SDGs, can I focus on specifically to SDG number 9, which is related to industry, innovation, and infrastructure. You can talk about SDG 11, that is sustainable cities. Have you heard about smart cities? Think about even the smart city. I'll give you the way. Okay, you must have seen, especially I would say that is more for the private cars, or obviously it has been mentioned for all the vehicles, but by the government. But think about today, you have a speedometers. So one CCTV is not a CCTV. That camera is now used to extract the details from the image. So image extraction model by using CNN, RNN, and various other deep neural network models which you can apply on image processing. So you extract the number from their number plate of their vehicle. You extract that data and find speedometer is also there. So they'll find your speed, and as per the limits mentioned according to the cities and states, according to that, whatever the limit, if your vehicle is more than that, you will get automatic challans, right? That is what being mentioned. Come on, think about, really is it required? I believe, I think millions of dollars being invested, crore rupees, crores and crores being invested on such infrastructure to just to maintain the traffic. Arey, why don't you go and take a service, AI service from Google? Google AI. Think about Google Map. In Google Map, there is an option of the speed, right? You can see speedometer. What is your speed if you are on the car? And just check, if you open a Google Map, you can check your speed also over there. And shall I show you at what time you start from your home and at what time you reach to the college on that particular date or timestamp? I can give you the entire details. So, very simple science. Speed equals to distance upon time taken. So if you have a distance upon time taken, if you cover that distance in that particular stipulated time, and if the range is more than the maximum limit, Why you deployed so many cameras and make a big expense? Just go for a Google API service, because we are already using Google Maps and Google services. We already on the Google drives, so you already have RFIDs on each car or each vehicle. Then why not that RFID? What is the benefit of that RFID? Why don't we use those devices and connect with the satellite networks? The moment that vehicle is on the road, you need not to go through all these things. That could be a centralized monitoring system. So satellite centralized monitoring systems are there already there. Then why don't, and that is what like Google is doing. If Google can do this, can't we prepare that project? Don't you think so? That is important for our country. Think about, you are going to save billions of dollars of India if
उई,
you just
उई,
take us
उई,
basic steps of this.
ना बेटे मैं काम कर लूँ.
Right? So this is the way how you can think about, and you talk about the smart cities or sustainable cities and all. Right? And there are many projects. I've seen the smart city project of especially for one of the area like in that one place in your Madhya Pradesh, MP, starting with the, I was just forgetting that name of that Madhya Pradesh city. So I was there actually, and I have seen the government official project where 19 plus projects being augmented and placed with the smart city and a sustainable model, where any person can connect to those the government apps. And I think near to Bhopal it is actually right. So all what you need to do, you just need to report that this is what the problem is. That problem being directly being alert sent to, and the notification sent to their concerned authorities, and those concerned authorities are working on it, and they have to report within that limited time. So today government is working in a very different perspective for making it smart city. But smart city, and again I have seen out of 19 projects, 3 projects were down. So what is sustainable? How can you trust, like how the people can report to you? How general public can connect with you with the government models or certain stage model? Today, like MCD in Delhi means a lot of challenges. Every day, everybody know about it. There are two different similar. There is a NDMC in Delhi and MCD in Delhi. You go to NDMC area, why it is so clean? And you come to any MCD areas, why it becomes means they targeted, they highlighted, but they don't have solutions. Reason, after certain period that project is down, whatever is there, they make these garbage collecting vehicles are there. They make it on GPS, and it is mandatory for them to identify with the GPS. If they don't went to any particular lane, that has been notified and that has been reported on the back end. So everybody need to go to those lanes. They cannot skip those lanes. So those truck drivers, those garbage collecting those vehicles, they're supposed to go to those lanes, and it is under surveillance. But still things are going on, still there is a lack, and that lack is nothing. That is the prone area, that is the vulnerable area, and all the hackers are actually trying to identify these vulnerabilities. Our first job to attack any model is find the vulnerabilities. Go for information gathering, go for footprinting, scanning. So all hacking tools are being connected on these grounds. So think about these projects. I think you will get to know. One of the model, I would say, Estonia e-governance model. I would recommend this model. It is not today, but long back they have already initiated with the concepts of they implemented cybersecurity policies. For more details, you can go and get into more in detail. I just mentioned keywords. They have a one of the concept called X road infrastructure model. That is what the model is completely based on blockchain model. So their data, nobody can manipulate the data. So transparency being maintained over there. Today, can you make a transparency model? Can we have a data like, okay, let's say take a one random project. Uh, Let's say uh, your uh, uh, your college or your university, your campus security system, you place some cameras or infra reds at certain stage. At any time, if any car comes into the parking, so counter should be there. Why don't we get some counter, +1, -1, or something like, or whatever the stage and whatever the things are there, let you can deploy even a 1 lakh IoTs, sensors. Basically, I'm talking about specifically to those sensors who are generating the data for every particular second or even in nanoseconds. Right now, if you got certain data, if any device being manipulated or compromised or cloned by the hacker, they can extract your entire data from your entire network. I have shown this project to, I will not take the name, but one of the a seven-star hotel in Delhi, seven-star hotel in Delhi. They were already deployed that network. So we were onto the VAPT. We went and we were hired for a VAPT. And within the span of 2 days only, we technically hacked in front of their senior officials, their CTOs, COOs, CFOs, and CEOs were with us, and we have given a demo to them. See, this is the way how we can hijack your IoTs. And after hacking IoTs, what is there in their records? Because they don't have compliance, and I'm talking about seven-star, they don't have a problem for money. Only the problem is whatever is available, they can only think on that and they can only work on that model, but they never think about certain drills. They cannot think of what is the real time challenge. And we just hack one single IoT device, and due to which we get into their network, we grab the entire data of their network, we misuse their internet, we access their internet, and we generate a one false alarm. We compose a one false mail in front of them with their due permission to the top officials in between both of them, and we were doing in there in front of them, and we have shown that, see, this is what we are doing for you. And now you call your IT experts, you call your infrastructure people, you call about any damn people and talk about your sustainable model. You give me the result, something happened, give me the logs, show me what happened. There is a incident being happened in your organization. Report, generate your reports. The maximum what they found, that one device was out of the network for not more than 3 minutes, and after 3 minutes that device was on. Only that is what the report is there with them. So where is the compliance? Means, is it a crime that your device is down for a 3 minutes out of 1 lakh sensors? Think about that. Think about the IoTs, thousands of IoTs being deployed near to you. So that becomes a real time challenge for sustainability. If any hacker can compromise any device, any service, any resource, nobody can take care of it, because there you have to think about the security policies. And in a hybrid mode, we have to think about how it works, and your audits, your asset management, then your audits, then your vulnerability assessment, then your penetration testings are the real time solution of your infrastructure if you want to make it sustainable and available. So, three pillars for cybersecurity. Always three pillars for cybersecurity. First is, first is basically it is called as CIA. CIA is confidentiality. Second is integrity, and third is availability of the data. We want confidentiality. We want integrity of that data. So no tampering in that information, and at the same time, the data is to be available to their stipulated time frame and to the concerned user. So can you maintain all these things in a sustainable in AI? Because you can make AI model, but AI is not deciding by themselves. You have to give the instruction, you have to write those prompts. Think about the security level, and take my words, all existing security models being going to, you know, obsolete from the industry very soon, and we need new model. And that is the gap where all the professors, the responsibilities comes to the professors to get into it and make new models. So, cyber resilience and digital sustainability, that is what the issue. National cybersecurity strategies align with the SDGs. So, we want government strategies. There are obviously laws, but we need some more regulation, especially like blockchain regulations is still missing in India. We don't have any blockchain related, although government initiated and implemented the blockchain. We don't have AI based regulations. What are the limits for AI? We don't have regulations for that in India. So in 2025 there is a huge gap. And what about the ethics? We have to talk about these areas, right? So that is one of the case study. Excuse me. So you can go and check X road infrastructure model, which is based on blockchain. The great transparency, there is no repetitive data, no redundancy, right? And obviously data get redundant, repeated on the blocks which are in the chain in the form. That is only with that particular part to make a transparency, but doesn't mean you are repeating and creating a new data another again and again. Okay, I'll give you a very simple example. How many of you really go to your bank for KYC? I hope you all go to your banks for KYC. And I think very frequently they used to call it, I think every year, as per RBI guideline, you have to come and you have to give your KYC, especially for the people who have some current accounts, right? Think practically, you are the same person, you're staying every time over there. For the security, banking security policy, according to the RBI, they they face the challenges and they raise a notice that we need to connect to the our customers on a very frequent basis. But if everything is same, don't you think so? There is a repetition of the data. We know all databases, you know, RDBMS and all that. You know, that is not a third normalized data. Okay, or so there is a repetition of data again and again. You want those documents, you have to go and unnecessary making. Why it is going on? If we already have a Aadhaar card, that Aadhaar ID means it's me. So why not we'll make us something like centralized? Already government is somewhere working on it and they have initiated, I believe, I don't know whether you heard of that or not, centralized KYC model is required. So that means today if you make a one centralized KYC and you want to go, you will get a one unique ID from the government, from the central government, and you have that unique ID. Again and again you need not to produce your documents and make a original photocopy signing and then those documents get misused by others. No, not at all. Your centralized government, like, you know, already you have heard about your digi locker system. You already heard about various digi yatra system. So they are targeting to make it centralized, but that centralized is not good to go, because if the centralized system is obsoleted, if it is not working, then what you will do in that case? So that could be again overloaded on the DOS, DDoS attacks. So how you can mitigate that? For that, the best part is you have to apply that data on a blockchain. You have to convert your model, sustainable model, where your data is on the transparent uh, and repetitive data. You need that data which is only on the registered blocks, so that if any device, any system, any centralized device is not functioning properly, then at least your system should not stop. The data is to be accessed by some other devices. That is the power of the technology. But don't you think so? That all bitcoins attack and financial frauds and blockchain hacked never been committed? No, it has been committed, and committed still going on a very high scale. So security is important, right? That is what the area where we have to think about. So we have to create a correlation model. So that is why I focus more on SDG 9, SDG 11, and SDG 16, which is related to peace, justice, and strong institutions. You need these things. SDG 16, for that you need cyber part. So SDG 16, that is related to peace, justice, and strong institution compliance in Government of India. Let us take it a centralized KYC. I'll get a one hash value, let's say for my KYC. And if I have a KYC, if I have a hash value, let me introduce my hash value to a system or any biometric sort of or any authentication protocol which connect to my centralized KYC, and rest all the things being happen. I need not to carry my all the documents again and again unnecessarily. Right. So that is like the way how you can manage, and it has become centralized, and no one can easily hack your data. They are your internal threats of the banking employees, which are always there on us. You never know how much loan is there on your head, because you never take those loans, but on your Aadhaar card with your PAN card, your some other bank employees applied any new mobile SIM number on your Aadhaar card, and on that Aadhaar card number and your that mobile SIM, they can request for some loans, and they'll get some loans, withdraw the money, move out, and after sometimes the bank people would going to call you up. Many cases comes to us. Many cases came to us, especially from Haryana belt also. Many cases comes to us, and the same pattern being it's a modus of operandi, we say that it's a very common problem, that all their accounts being they got lot of credits on ahead, and even they never took any single penny of those accounts. Only the problem, their documents get compromised. So again, these are the challenges. Think about those things, right? So I have already focused on smart city, like Madhya Pradesh, one of the area where a smart city model, 19 projects being augmented. I have seen a big theater like of, where more than 26 plus screens being deployed, and on each big screen, one complete project was going on with the real time statistics and real time implementation model, real time reporting, and notifications and all, and the problem gets solution, and those solution being reported to the people who were the victim of those problems. 19 government projects in Madhya Pradesh, in a very small city of Madhya Pradesh. I have seen a smart city model. Even it is not, I have seen till date, I have not seen in Delhi similar like project. But so small areas are doing great, because that is a good practice. It's a, you can say it's a sample size is there, and we can able to implement on that, as we have we used to go for a quantitative and qualitative analysis in our research work. Think about how you can implement those cities. Think about every time we have a common problem, almost 76 years or above after independence, still we are fighting with good food, good air, good water, good roads. Don't you think so? We are still fighting with those problems. Don't you have a permanent solution? At least why it is not happening in Singapore, why it is not happening in even in China, which is almost similar to us in the terms of population. So they have certain sustainable models, and those sustainable models are there, and far better models are there in India, but still the implementation, still the resource lack, manpower, skill lacks are there, certain challenges are there, and again on top of it, cyber security is the one of the challenge. So we want the people who can think on it, and we want a solutions for that. So secure your IoTs on that, blockchain transparencies, and green supply chains. Green supply chains means very smooth, all transparency. No one can make anything compromise, anything being committed, being reported to all the nodes, all the blocks which are within that chain, and those being updated, evaluated there and then. There and then. Don't take it a backlog. There and then we want a solution. So that is what, even you can make some simulations, like you can talk to your students, go and talk about attacking and defending an IoT enabled smart grids using Python based IDS models. So this is one of the simulation which you can try. We have already started working on this. IDS is intrusion detection system, so it is only for the notification, it is not for the prevention. We are not going to prevent, but you have IoT enabled models. So if you have IoTs, can you give me the details? Can you give me the logs? And can we do AI based log analysis model on IoT, on smart grid, on any sustainable model? So think on these grounds. You need to do log analysis, AI based log analysis for sustainable model. Make it in the depth. Many MTech students are performing and working on it. They are doing certain research on it. A few of the PhD scholars are already opted these kind of projects. They are working on it. And globally, I found many organizations, many companies are working on a real time basis, right? So you can also try these kind of projects to your students, and I think you can be a mentor to your students on these areas, right? Third and major part is AI. Okay, AI, everybody is on AI and all. Okay, I'll show you, I think, something on AI. Give me a minute. uh I'll give you a case, one it's a case actually. That is the biggest problem today. We all are on WhatsApp. We all are on WhatsApp, right? Do you know, really you stop using it or take other option, or I think today still at least WhatsApp, because it is a part of a Meta company, like Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp are the product of a Meta company, right? Today there is a provision where at least they are supporting to our law enforcement, which is good to go. But the biggest challenge, biggest problem is, video viral, audio viral, image viral, or some content viral. Who initiated those virals? From where it has been started? Who took a startup? Like today, how many of you really copy the data from WhatsApp and then forward to your groups, or you simply go to the forward button and you forward that data? Now I'll tell you, there is a huge difference in WhatsApp functionality. If you forward that data from your WhatsApp to the other side, your identity, so basically take it as a node to node connectivity. You consider it as a, like, your WhatsApp is doing certain activity and you send some message and so on to someone, and somebody face inconvenience, somebody face conflicts. They feel it's a disputable information or objectionable information being circulated by you, so they report to the police. Take it like that. Now, if they report to the police that this is what happened with me, the investigation started from their end. So reverse engineering. We want reverse engineering. We want reverse node. Doubly linked list model. In C++, doubly linked list, dynamic memory nodes. Think on that model. Think on that model. We want reverse dynamic nodes. So WhatsApp can able to identify it. The problem is, if you forward that message, so your data, your significant value being overlapped to the message headers. Did you ever try to read the message headers? I don't know whether you really work that part or not. There is a message ID, but being onto like Telegram or okay, I'll quickly show you one of my small project where we are working N8N. I'll show you a small workflow and I will show you the gap which is hackable. A very simple gap in the hacking aspects. And let me quickly sign to my NA10 model where I can show you something live. I try to make a very simple, I think it's just a chat bot of of Telegram. This is how I worked on it. It's a very simple model. You can make it for WhatsApp or Telegram model, right? I just going to sign in. Luckily this is on their cloud. We can download and it is working on offline as well on our systems. I'll quickly show you some results and you will understand there is a message ID. Now the problem is, you have a message headers, but the moment you forward that message to someone, so message headers overlaps, content remains the same but message overlaps. But again, the best part, the message comes from the previous ID is also being there. So we need a doubly linked list model where more than 80% chatting apps do not carry that information. So if you forward that message, probably it is possible to identify from where the previous message being forwarded and shared and you received, and so on. My concern is to identify who generated that message. That is really a tough task even for a Meta. They are not supposed to identify, because think about billions of user being, connected at the same time. Billions of user got connected at the same time and forwarding those messages, and even you don't know what you are doing, where you are connected and what you are supposed to do, all these things, right? So my concern is, if I'll go and show you certain details, you just check the headers, you check the backend content of your research. And the problem is, only we need to add a, see, this is what one of the workflow. I'll quickly share one workflow, and like to share, see the data set. So we are into the security part, so we are implementing those agents, or automation agents, and we are working with the content and the parameters which are there behind those protocols, those standards, and those variables. That is what, like, how we people are working. We are supposed to extract those information, and basis on that basis, see, this is what my AI agent, you can say, right? I think you can see the part of it, right? I am supposed to get some messages, I'm supposed to send some messages. I'm using chat gpt, simple memory model, and sup api for google searching and all. I prepared a one ai agent on it. So the moment you go and get into it, you will find certain parameters. Find those parameters. If you got a message, let's say from telegram or whatsapp, what is the output, what is the message over there? You need to find it out. Let's say if I'll execute my chatbot on telegram, I need to run actually to just to show you how it works. And I think you can take a look quickly if it's possible. I'll get a login. I want to show you certain parameters. The purpose is to show you certain parameters which you are receiving from the telegram. Now this is the backend I want to show you. Front end you already aware of, right? And this is AI based model. And if you got those parameters, and do you know these parameters are moving in the plain text? So man in the middle attack is possible if it has been hosted on your machines, in your local machines. It is quite possible that we can do a man in the middle attack. I prepared my sedulity bot, right? This is my one of the company's bot which I try to prepare with Telegram, and I would like to show you the real time parameters. And let's say if I'll execute this model, okay, and it is listening for the message on my sedulity bot, and let's say I'll just pass a message, hi. The moment I'll pass this message, it performs, it will gonna perform it. They're gonna accept some data. See, this is what you need to understand. I got id number, I got the name, I got a language, I got a chat id number. This is what the important part is. I got a chat id number. Now, if you forward this message, what happened with the headers? If you forward such message, what happened with this headers? What is the date time? So all these privileges, and these are the parameters which are running on the back end of the telegram whenever you are sending a message. So I try to collect that message on my system. Only the problem is now how you will investigate the case, and how you will identify who generated this. This is the originator, I am an originator. Now if you forward this message to someone else, then what would be the header? And if they will receive that message, is it the same id or a different id? And if it is a different id, what about their backend parameters? Where is the doubly linked list previous node id? Is there any previous node id? No. It is only like from where you received the id, from where you received. So we got a user id, not the message id. And if you forward this message, then you will get only the same, again, chat id. from sender is different, so it overlaps. These parameter values overlaps. And in this case, we can do a man in the middle attack. We can run Wireshark kind of sniffers or network sniffers. There are many different third party applications by which we can able to extract these parametric values. And if we can able to extract those parametric values, don't you think so, we can extract your Telegram account and your APIs, the value of API. And if your API value got compromised, take my words, your entire AI system collapsed. Your entire AI system collapsed. So think about how it works. What is the concern? Everything is in the form of certain parameters. And what are the limitations of these parameters? We are doing the research on these areas that see the gap analysis. And according to the system, according to the compliance issue, legal compliance issue, these applications, even you take Telegram, you take WhatsApp, is not at all compliant. Today we'll ask for the originator. WhatsApp don't give us the answer for it. They can only give the detail up to certain level. But see, billions of users are there and circulating the same message to throughout the network globally. So from which place, which origin, what is their IP address, what is their user IDs, and their geolocations, and we want those information for the investigations. That is the gap. And these gaps being, you know I think the area for the research for all of you. You can target, if you are doing some good researchers are there, they can target and they can think about what is the problem. So AI sustainable, is it really sustainable? Now it's a big goal for you. You already have a Google AI model already giving you, like SERP API is also one of the Google AI model. You go and check. Already I have logged in, so I can show you even that SERP API. Do you know what the information we can grab from SERP API? So I'll show you. Even I have a one product called a SERP API. And in the SERP API, if you go, this is basically to extract the data from Google. I either use a Google search, so I can use my account, one of my API where I have already placed my keys. And then I have a Google search. Do I really want a Google search or see the gap? See the gap. We have a concept of Google Maps. If it is there, if these things are there, can't you mitigate, can't you identify the distance, speed equals to distance upon time taken, and you can simply avoid the billions of amount which you have invested in that infrastructure? Just to, why don't you make a simple APIs for certain level, for Delhi government, Delhi HR number plate for Haryana government? So you already have the classified data with you for each state. Can't we keep that data on such a small AI agents, the very small AI agent, they can grab each and everything, and we can have 100% surveillance for every user. And that is what government is doing it. What you are thinking, you are not, you feel that government is not doing, they are already well versed of all these things. So take it like real time problem. Now the problem is, if it is related to privacy, what about cyber ethics, digital privacy? And what are the act? I hope you heard about IT Act. I'm talking about IT Act. Means I was the first pilot batch working with that pilot batch, where in 1994 VSNL, Videsh Sanchar Nigam Limited, introduced internet in India. So we got a training how to configure modem, how to convert telephone line analog signal to digital, and you have to write 80 commands and configure all those things. Then IT Act came in year 2000. IT Act Amendment 2008. So today, till today, we are into a Information Technology Amendment Act 2008, ITAA 2008. You can go and download from Google. PDF is there. You will find a huge gap, right? But although I'll just quickly talk about certain sections. Offense based, chapter number 11, section 66E is there for privacy control, right? But there is a 3 years imprisonment with one lakh rupees or both. That is the maximum penalty over there of IT Act, right? If your privacy got breached, right? Privacy means something more, and that is more focused on like somebody try to capture your details if you are uh, you're in the changing room, or somewhere if somebody is doing certain activity without the permission, is actually an offense, because intentionally, knowingly, ill will, they are producing that data and working on it. But what about Indian KYC data? European Union GDPR is a one of the framework. In 2016 they have launched, they have already worked on, and now today all the call centers being outdated from India, because now Indian cannot run any call center which is related to European Union as per their GDPR. They got a huge penalties. They impose huge penalties on Facebook, on Google of $800 million or million euros, not even dollars, million euros, and or in their as per their jurisdiction, they talk about their in ponds. So think about, they have their own system, and these penalties being already imposed to Google, to Facebook, and all other service providers, because they try to hack and they try to collect the data without the user permission. In India also, we gave the permission and we don't know what the information you have given to Google. I'll show you quickly those parts. Right, India DPDP Act has already been introduced, that is Digital Personal Data Protection 2023, but still it is in the next version, or updates or amendments would be there very soon. You will see that data, UN data ethics principles are has already been there. So we have to think about, right, various different NIST and NISTs, and various government policies for AI. Think about how to implement and talk about the human rights security with like Indian Aadhaar data, or data protection challenges, balancing sustainability, inclusion, and privacy. These are the areas you have to talk about. Climate control, I told you, I think I have already given you, because time is less, I have already exhausted your time. So I quickly come to the point. Right. You must check the canonical pipeline attack of 2021, where oil and gas, immediately the services stops and the price hikes like anything. Right. This kind of thing happened in India various time. I think we all are aware of these kind of thing. But that is a sustainable attack of the cyber attack, and due to which their application, their systems were not performing, and oil and gas issues being imposed on the canonical pipeline attack of 2021. So what about energy sustainability and SDG alignments? Missing. Governance, already initiated a lot of policies, and for organization they already have ISO 27001 series and NIST standards along with the legal system. But the problem is, in India we do not have the real time working patents. We are only using US patents, US devices, US application, US softwares. So that is compliant according to US. It is not compliant with Indian system. The huge gap in the sustainable form. We are borrowing the hardware either coming from China or from other countries. We are not Indian, make in India model. We do not have. At least promote that model, prepare those models to make it more sustainable. These are the very common challenges for all the systems. Think on these grounds, otherwise we cannot we can only have the sessions, but we cannot have a real time impact of the sustainability. We have to talk about the research methodologies, AI driven research methodologies, where we have to talk about various different already I think you are aware of TensorFlow. But for TensorFlow, TPUs are has already been introduced. You might have a CPU, you might heard about GPU. Did you heard about NPU? Did you heard about TPUs in your laptops? Think about the hardware resources, or the libraries which we have to run for collecting that information and to process that information. And on that basis, I think we can go for a great publications with Scopus or Springers or various other standardized journals, right? AI to correlate cyber resilience maturity with the SDG performance matrix. Think about that. We can talk on more in ground on these areas. So futuristic issues. What are the futuristic? Think about quantum cryptography for sustainability data security. Already Ministry of Telecom initiated a crypto system along with this quantum computing, complete quantum computing. I was one of the committee in one of the committee where we designed the complete quantum system being provided by the Ministry of Telecom for gathering all more than 300 crore internet connections. And on that basis we are supposed to perform, and we have to run certain data sets on it. This is one of the project which is going on. Next gen projects, please think on it. Autonomous cyber defense and generative AI. So generative AI I have shown you. What about cyber defense? So I have given you the real practical. See the gaps, the parameters. In the plain text it is moving. If it is moving in the plain text or deployed on the endpoint or in the middle end, if you got some KPI, your APIs and all, we can able to extract the API, and if I'll get your API, I can hack your entire system. Right, that's a challenge. BIOS cybersecurity model, AI biosystems, environmental monitoring. Who is monitoring? Can't we get a data set, logs of your climate controls or biometrics or everything? What about, if you remember, in we got one of the app at the time of COVID. That was that one app was there now, where we got information that how many people being infected by COVID in India at your area within the 50 meters 500-meter range, 1 kilometer, 2 kilometer, and so on. So, right, Arogya Setu app, I hope you remember. So that Arogya Setu app, if we can make that kind of model, can't we gather the information about the environmental model, and can't we go for prediction? AI models prediction. Can't we go for a behavior analysis? Can't we go for prediction analysis? And can't we mitigate the policies? We have to ready to go with the plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D's in case of certain levels. We have to correlate, and we have to implement, and we have to maintain the sustainable environment, which is missing. Right. So that is a big challenge, which is a futuristic part. Cybersecurity and the space systems with the green satellite. Now data is on the green satellite. That is what I have given you. Stop using these, cameras. You take it on the centralized basis. Other countries, Western countries, are already centralized. They don't deploy these cameras and things like that. They're already centralized. You start moving on the road, even 10 kilometers before or after, no such vehicle over there in the Western countries. You're moving alone on the highway, and if you stuck and you stop your car within the friction of like maximum 5 minutes, one police, the cab or the cop would come to you, ask for, do you have any trouble, why you stop? We got an intimation, we got a signal that your car stops at that particular end. Do you want any support? See, this is what like the thing is going in USA or Western other countries. In India, we are again lacking for these kind of things. So lot of areas. I think quickly you can see I have a suggested practicals for you. AI model for predictive cyber threats in the smart cities. We can talk about mapping SDGs indicators to the national cybersecurity policies, which is missing. Building a secure green IoT system, again missing. Data privacy risk evaluation in the sustainable project. Data privacy, privacy. Okay, quickly I'll take 1 more minute to show you, and even you can do a practical along with me. Would you like to do a practical, small practical? Shall I show you instead of theory? I would like to show you your privacy, like see what a myth about your privacy. Right, I have already logged in on a Chrome browser with my Gmail. Right, can you open your mobiles or your laptops? Can you do it parallelly with me and check? Shall I show you which video you watched yesterday night? I have already logged in with Gmail. So your token has already been there. Your session has been maintained for 365, 24 by 7 by Google. Right. So already you have logged in. So we need not to do anything. Now I'm going to give you one of the subdomain of Google, which you probably, I don't know whether you might heard of, or you might have seen or not. Quickly, just go and type, open your Chrome browser where you have already logged in with Gmail. Open your Chrome browser, open a new tab, and just go and access this website. Can you access this website? This is myactivity.google.com, and check your privacy. If I'll take your phone, if I'll do a social engineering, if I'll come to you, it simply shows you which video you watched yesterday night, what type of application you used at what time, when you open your Telegram, YouTube, and all stuff. Every single information is there. And I have seen now they have just recently they have updated this link, this Google link. I have seen myself from since 2009 they were monitoring and tracking me on my account. Can you imagine what all the things going on? Can you check yourself? So you are vulnerable. I just want your phone. Hey, there is no signal in my phone. Can I borrow your phone? I want to make a call. I'll take your laptop, I'll take your phone, or I'll take your even internet, your Wi-Fi, and then I can access any damn thing about you. Even though you can mitigate, but doesn't mean Google will not collect your data. If you go and close, let's say I don't want to show this information, you have an option, you can go and turn it off, but it is only that you cannot see. Doesn't mean Google will not capture. 100% will capture. And according to intermediary regulation 2021, it is mandatory for all the intermediaries to capture all the details about each user, each activity performed by them, and as and when required, it has to be shared with the law enforcement. So all intermediaries are supposed to do these kind of things. Hardly matters you open your location in your mobile or not, we can still trace you. You just go and block your location in your mobile, we can trace you. We can hack your details anytime. Even if you have a mobile and you are working on a Google Maps, just open your Google Maps quickly. Just open your Google Maps and see. Can you see Google Maps? Open Google Maps, go to the last second option is you. There is a second option. Go to Google Maps, there is a second option, you just go and open your mobile and check. Go to the bottom, you will find one option called timeline. There the option is for timeline. Just go and open that timeline, and you can see last 3 years information. If it is on, from the day it is on, you can see when you started, what you did, for how long you drive your vehicle, on which vehicle are you on it, which number of places you visited, where you visited, and it at what time. So again, I told you, it is like today I drove my car for 9 kilometers in 34 minutes. This is what it is showing me. So if you know, so you got a distance, you got a time. So speed equals to distance upon time. If you my speed is more than 50 kilometers per hour, it means the challan should directly come to me on my car, because I drove in Delhi 50 kilometers per hour is the maximum limit. So try and understand the model, like why we want speedometers and all other high-end, high-tech gadgets for smart cities, just to create a fear factor. No, let us make it sustainable model, you know, affordable model, availability of that data. Can you see this? Can you get the things done? You will find every single information. Every single information is there, right? And even I can show your last passwords, or your Gmail ID being accessed by whom. You can access one website where you can find more details, the government website. I'll suggest to go and access Sanchar Sathi. Did anyone visit to this site called Sanchar Sathi? Please go and check this site, Sanchar Sathi .gov.in, where you can report your lost mobiles, you can address, you can identify, you can go to the Aadhaar website where you can see wherever you use your Aadhaar. These are the features available over there. Please check your lost mobile phones, lost connections, how many mobile connections on your name? Do you know how many mobile connections are there on your name? Please find from the government websites. And if any anonymous number identified, please immediately report, because might be somebody took your Aadhaar card, your PAN card, and borrow a new SIM, and on the basis of that SIM, might be they are asking for loan or doing whatever nuisance they want. Please go and find it, and where to report certain things. So Chakshu is another application over there on the government sites. So please try and understand, government is quite active. We have to upgrade ourselves. We have to find the gaps, and according to the gaps, we need to fill those gaps. We need to go for our research areas on that basis. So on that ground, I will not too long. Sorry, I took your, I think, 17 more minutes apart from the session, but my session is more onto it. At least I can try to give you the guidelines on that basis and some realistic examples on what we can do on that basis. I'm open with the question answers, and I'm through with my session. So in case if you have any further query, please feel free to ask, or I'll share my details. I'll share my details to others so that you can note down my number and my name. My number is 9811485729. It's 9811485729. I'll just write down on a chat. Yeah, 9811485729. And my name is Dr. Anoop Girdhar. I hope you enjoyed this session, and I'm open for the question answers. In case if you have any further queries, please feel and we may discuss. I'm sorry I took your extra almost 70, 80 minutes, but I think you enjoyed my session on this regard. Yeah, I'm open to it. And otherwise, volunteers or, yeah, I think Dr. Pooja is there. Right, great.
Sorry,
Thank you, Pooja.
could you please share some advice for our faculty and our researchers who are interested in publishing some interdisciplinary research on cybersecurity?
Yeah, great. So if you have seen my slide, I think I just share it once more. If you just quickly take a slide, I have specially mentioned some a couple of projects.
Yes,
This
sir.
is what the slide is. My suggestions are there for the practical and research projects where it is still in missing in India. We do not have such models. We can think of, we can first you try to explore the data set, as I have shown you practically, that how AI is working on a backend and what are their parametric values and where is the gap. And if we get those information, we can hack anything, any IoT, any AI model, and so on. It is quite easy. It's not difficult task. Take my words. So, what is the best practice for the researchers? I have given these five good names, five good projects which are correlated, interdisciplinaries, and with the sustainable model, along with the cybersecurity policies and cybersecurity management part. So if you can think on, I think we can prepare lot of practices, or even you are doing AI, you are implementing AI, that is good to go. Think about how your AI, how your that particular AI part is really secure or not. So go for that mobile or web app or AI app for testing. At least take it for testing phrase. And take my words, you will find a lot of gaps in the research area. You can select a new topic for your PhDs or for any research work, right? Otherwise, whatever the area of concern, like if the any particular person want any particular area, then I am open to discuss with them, and I can ready to support to all the professors in case if they want any support or they're facing some challenge, or they're stuck in research, anywhere, anytime, if they're stuck in research, they can connect to me. I can, would be happy to help you all on this part, right? Uh, I hope, Dr. Pooja, I answered your query for this regard.
Yes, sir.
Good evening.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, very good evening. Yes, Dr. Kaur, please.
Firstly, sir, the first session was very good, sir. You have told about this, but I have a some query. I
Please.
have, sir, three questions. First question is, how can faculty member integrate topic like counter-terrorism technology and cyber awareness into their teaching?
In teaching,
Yes.
madam, many courses has already been placed. It is according to UGC and AICTE norms. Every institution need to run these courses. You have autonomous bodies. I'm a in the member of BOS, and if you want your organization, I can come. I already launched courses with the AICTE. I'm advisory in AICTE, and we launch a courses for UG and PG level specifically for the disaster management with the latest and augmentation, latest technologies. So if you want that particular some course content, or what need to be covered, and especially for faculties, if they want to upgrade themselves, they can connect. I think I can give some more areas and suggestions to them. But for more in details, think about whatever is going in front of us. You have to take it on a very serious note. Before you apply anything, any information which you are going to place it on internet is vulnerable. So you need to understand, or you got some link, whether you really want to click on that. Whatever we are doing in surrounding, whatever, we are all equipped with thousands of apps, thousands of gadgets. Without a fear factor, if you are using, take my words, anyone can become a victim, or probably you became a victim. But might be even you are not aware that you are already a victim of that. We are using Google, and we are the victim that Google is hacking on us. I have shown you right away. So can you stop using Google? Even I have shown you. Can you really feel that you can stop using Google? You can't. Because if you want to stop Google, then you have to stop using Android phones. You have to stop using thousands of things, your Gmail and other thing. But then what is the alternate is you will go with iPhone. Are come on, iPhone is also the product of US. Hardly matters. There are list of thieves which are, which belongs to US, and we have to opt, either we'll go with this or that. So the problem is, the solution is, real time solution is, we have to make in India. We have to prepare the products in India. Can't we make WhatsApp like app? You have API, you have Chat GPT. Why don't we give a Gmail ID or similar email IDs to all the students? I hope many institutions are giving these days, right? And why don't we make a cloud drives in the college, local cloud drives in the college, instead of taking any, they want, student want to do a project, okay, you will get a 5 GB, 10 GB, 15 GB space from cloud from within the college. Let's start from basic projects. Take my words, you start isolated environment, create those isolated environment, keep your data in the isolation form, process your data through that channel. You will be always safe and secure. And let us prepare the same thing in the form of a curriculum. If you want, I can guide and I can support to your organization. And anytime you want, I can come here, and even I can visit your institution. And I think we can have uh, uh, more things in detail we can discuss on that regard. Yes,
Okay,
Dr.
sir.
Kar, I think this is your first question, and
Um,
I hope I answered your first query.
yes, sir.
I'm open for other queries as well.
Sir, for example, you have mentioned about IoT and a cloud, but sir, in what way can we emergency technology, big data help monitor environmental SDG climate action?
Why not? See, uh, try and understand. Big data is nothing. What is big data? Big data is the distributed format of your data, because you have a huge data. My concern, okay, I'll give you one good project. Okay. Let us say I want 10 petabyte. Please provide me 10 petabyte space. Can you give me? Did you ever heard any hard drive which is the space of 10 petabyte or 10 exabyte or zettabyte or something like that? Not possible, no? And I have a climate controller, sensors, lakhs of sensors generating their data values. Hardly matters, it's a bit value. But for every second it is generating, and I have to collect that information. I have to preserve that information. I need to do some analytical results like behavior analysis, prediction analysis on that basis. How you will keep that data? So my big data is only the resource where you can keep the data. You can manage your data randomly, dynamically. You can add nodes and add their spaces to store that data, index the data, indexing, information retrieval model of index servers. So it is nothing, it's a kind of an index server, so that as and when required, with the fastest performance, categorical performance, we can able to search that information there and then. How Google is working, think like that. So the Google search engine is on what? On a big data on the back end. It is GFS, Google File System Architecture. And luckily, one of my PhD scholar worked on this. We introduced the high ultra compression techniques of data storage model. Even you give me 2 GB pen drive, I can save 2, not TB, 2 exabyte data in 2 GB. Can you store 2 GB data files? All right, 2 GB you have only pen drive, and I can store 2 exabyte data in 2 GB. Ultra compression techniques, nothing else. It is basically the backend platform, the backend architecture which we have introduced. That thesis is also available on Shodh Ganga, one of my scholars thesis on this. So we worked on that model, and we produce a new model where we try to correlate and add the indexing, HDFS, Hadoop model, similar like Hadoop model or GFS model as you're talking about. We talk about basically we introduce another model, and we use instead of Google this Hadoop, because it's open source, so that is why we took a Hadoop. But along with that, what we did, we add a you know this concept, torrent. Did you ever try to make your machines as a torrent servers? And we try to incorporate that kind of things in the pen drives, and we make that data set collaboration with the new different technologies, and we introduce a new model. PhD got awarded, and we were especially all the externals, the people who were there, who listen about that, and who were into their dissertation. All right, all the externals, they praised like anything. What a great model. Please go for the patents on this and think about data management model. So your climate is just like healthcare, climate, any sustainable. These all are business applications for us. From the technology background, it is all a business application. So climate control, I'm okay with that. Obviously, if you have a huge data, give me the size of the data. Obviously, you cannot store on your computer. You cannot use only NAS drives or storage area networks or RAID technology. No, that is all very basic level to store that data. We want information over there. And do you know what we did? From where we got such information, how we can store that exabyte data and all? In other way, we prepared a blockchain, and do you know what we did? We add 20 users, 20 mobile users. Example, it's a just sample which I have shown a presentation in the form of practicals in the PhD dissertation, final dissertation. We call 20 people, and we ask them to you take my app. Please install this app. So they install that app in their mobile, and in that app it is accepted. What happened? The size of the app is only, I think, 141 MB approximately, but internally we grab 1 GB from the mobile, which is a completely encrypted file. 1 GB encrypted file was there, and nobody know what is this going on. Do you know how much memory taken by your WhatsApp? how much memory taken by your Truecaller, how much memory taken by your Swiggy, Zomato, and all other apps. So we, obviously that was written in the disclaimer, but nobody read that disclaimer and nobody pinpoint to us on that time. Right. This is what the sample we did. So they accepted we create a 1 GB file, which is an encrypted file, and 1 GB into 20, it means we got 20 GB. And my system can save that data in 20 GB because their machine, their mobiles become the member of my blockchain. So I make it a distributed model, similar like Hadoop and all that model. And we save the data like any. I got a free of cost. I got 20 GB. This is what your mobiles being used by third-party apps. This is a big challenge. Nobody heard of what you are doing, how much space being occupied by which game or which app, and that's a problem where our data got managed. And I didn't hire anything. I don't never use any cloud computing or high end servers to process, and nothing. It's a very simple model. Obviously one server is there where the app being deployed. It is an index server sort of. It's a main master machines, so master node of Hadoop sort of, you can say. And all the nodes being added because they install the apps. This is what is going on. And that is why all the softwares are free, free, free. Please remember, nothing is free in India or even the globe. They are hacking our privacy. And same thing for IoT and for sustainable models.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so due to shortage of time, we will not be able to take more questions. Uh,
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir,
Dr.
for such
Pooja,
an
and I'm so
insightful.
sorry I took a half an hour extra. I believe you gave me the
No, no,
time to
sir.
explain
It
everything,
was
but
really an interesting and engaging session.
okay, yeah, great. So I have already shared my number in case if other faculties have more queries, most welcome. They can connect me on an individual basis. I'll answer their queries on that. Fine. On that regard. Thank you so much, Dr. Pooja, and the entire team of Malana Institute. It's indeed a privilege to talk, and it's a wonderful interaction with all the audience. And I think I got a great messages. Even I have not read those messages. I'll just quickly read. Oh, fantastic! Thank you so much for your valuable words and your valuable feedbacks and comments. It's indeed a pleasure to interact with all of you. Hope to see you sometimes in some other session, and we'll connect.
Definitely, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Great
sir.
day.
It was
Bye
really a
bye.
pleasure learning from your experience. Thank you, sir.
Good night. Thank you.
Okay, as we will move forward with our next session on AI-driven healthcare for sustainable communities, it gives me great pleasure to welcome Dr. Rakesh Kumar, distinguished speaker for today. Dr. Rakesh Kumar is a distinguished academician and researcher He's having over 34 years of teaching and administrative experience in computer science and applications. He is presently serving as a professor, Dean Academic Affairs, and chairperson in the Department of Computer Science and Applications at Kurukshetra University. He's a gold medalist in MCA and PhD holder in the area of performance and evaluation of information retrieval system. He has made significant contributions to the academic governance, curriculum design, and institutional quality enhancement. His research interests span information retrieval systems, artificial intelligence, software engineering, and operating system with over 100 publications and around 700 citations to his credit. He has held key administrative positions, including head University Computer Center, and has served on several academic councils, board of studies, and quality assurance committee across multiple universities. A senior member of IACSIT Singapore, Dr. Rakesh has been actively engaged as a resource person, session chair, and coordinator in various national and international conferences, refresher courses, and orientation programs. He is widely recognized for his strong academic leadership, expertise in curriculum development, and commitment to promoting innovation and digital transformation in higher education. In addition to this, on a personal note, I feel truly privileged to share that I was also a student of Dr. Rakesh Kumar during my MTech. His classes were something we always looked forward to. They were insightful, inspiring, full of deep learning, and we always waited for their classes, his classes. It is indeed an honor for me to welcome this sir today in this FDP. Now I will take this opportunity to hand over the session to you, sir, to enlighten us with your insights.
Thank you, Dr. Pooja. Am I audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So first of all, I'm feeling privileged. I'm feeling honored that I have been given this opportunity. So I extend my gratitude, my thanks to Professor Sumit Mittal and Arpita, and now to Dr. Pooja for getting me this opportunity to share my ideas about artificial intelligence. Well, I have been told to discuss about this thing, the topic, sorry, use of basically AI in healthcare for sustainable communities. So basically, the topic is, you can say, the amalgamation of a number of things. So one, I will start with the topic itself. So one word is communities. If I will have to define the communities, sorry, in terms of, I can say, artificial intelligence, so thing is something related with clustering. So basically, as we are studying in case of clustering also, that there are a number of elements which are closely related, which are common, similar on the basis of some similarities. In the same fashion, in our life, we are seeing the communities consisting of a number of members, and members are having some common interest. So on the basis of some common attribute, they are similar. The distance between them is minimum. So here we are talking about a community and the attribute is healthcare. Nowadays, we are observing this thing that everywhere we are seeing the use of uh, artificial intelligence. Basically, you are using, as in earlier lecture also I was listening, in case of artificial intelligence, if I am talking about its use, it's in business, it's in healthcare, or it's in any other area, I'm not seeing any difference. Only thing is the difference is of the data. Okay, same technology is used everywhere, but when we are using it in healthcare, there are some particular issues which are very crucial and which are demanding, which are asking us this thing that we are to be very careful when we are making the use of AI in healthcare. So I will start with a case study, a very popular one in the field of healthcare. And that is the case study of a machine that is Thirak 25. I understand my screen is visible to all of you. And here is a bit about the Thirak 25. Basically, the device Thirak 25, it was used in 80s for the treatment of the cancer patients. It was used for radiation therapy. And I am telling you this thing that Thirak 25 was the advanced version of Thirak 5 and Thirak 20. Okay. And the machine was totally automated, fully computerized, and no human interaction was required in order to use this thing. So basically, the objective, the use of this machine is to treat the cancer patients, and the therapy was the radiation. But during, I think, in 1985, it has been observed that there are the cases of several fatal overdose due to the software failure. Reason is, I'm telling you this thing, that it has been observed that overdose of the radiation was given, and approximately there were total 6 to 7 casualties, and approximately more than 20, I think, patients, they received the serious burn injuries. Okay. It was totally a fully automated device. When this type of cases were observed, so there was an inquiry committee and the reasons were identified, and then it was located that this is a software bug, it's a software failure. What's the reason of that? Because whenever we are talking about the topics in software development, etc., we are told, say, for example, when we are talking about the approaches like object-oriented approach also, which are based on this concept that if we are extending some existing utilities, so we can have more faith and more confidence on that. Because this inheritance or etc., these are based on this concept that there is some feature which has been used already and you are extending it, so you know there is no need to test it again. The reason is over 5 or 10 years in the real field it has been tested. So basically the Thirac 25, it was the extension of Thirac 5 and Thirac 20. The only difference was that in case of earlier these two devices, Thirac 5 and Thirac 20, there were hardware locks also. So basically those were not fully software based. In order to use them, you are making the use of software and there are some controls which were hardware based. In case of Thirac 25, those hardware locks were removed and it relied fully on the software. Okay, and software fails, resulting into the overdose. Overdose, you can understand if the dose that is to be given was 20, it was given 2000, 100 times. Okay, so we simply received from that particular case study a critical lesson that in case of safety critical systems, we have to be very careful when we are making the use of any software. And nowadays we are seeing this thing that we are depending too much on artificial intelligence. Okay, whenever we are doing some calculations or some computations or processing something, sometimes we are counter checking it using AI. Okay, we have to be careful when it is healthcare system. What were the causes of Thrack 25 accidents? The reasons were there were race conditions. It's a software bug. Okay, it was overtrust in software, no hardware backup. It was a very poor user interface and cryptic errors. And it is an inadequate testing and safety analysis. When I will discuss, just remember these 4 points. I will discuss the use of AI in healthcare for sustainable communities. All these topics I will discuss in that aspect also. Okay. So one problem is in case of Thirac 25, the problem of race condition and the poor user interface and cryptic errors. What's the meaning of that? Okay. Actually, in order to make the use of that particular software, the operator of that software has to press some key combinations. I repeat, in order to make the use of that particular machine, the operator of that machine has to press some key combinations. For example, I am saying this thing that first of all, he has to press A, then I am saying press C, then press R, then press enter. I repeat, press A, press C, press R, press enter. So during the testing, no problem was observed. Because when you are a new user and you are told this thing that you will have to press first A, then you will have to press C, then you will have to press R, then you will have to press enter and it will work. It will start operating. Okay. So as a new user, your movements, hand movements are slow. Okay. You are looking at A, then you are looking at C, and then you are looking at R. So there is some time gap. But with the passage of time, with the experience, you become the expert of that thing. Okay, so time gap between the pressing of these keys, it will become minimum and it results into a race condition. So one problem that has been observed with that device was that if you are pressing this combination A, C, R and enter like this, with enough time between the key press, no failure was observed. Failure was observed when professional expert user was making the use of that machine, who was very fast. That results, yes. Uh, is there any query? Okay. So the problem was observed when there was some expert operator who is making the use of that particular device, and it results into a race condition. Okay. So thing is, conclusion, problem of race condition can be there. One reason is the user interface. It was not good. And another reason is error message was displayed, but it was like this, that error number 53, which was not understandable. Okay, just like this, in case of healthcare system also, you are going to a doctor and he is writing you a prescription, and that prescription is not readable, not legible to you. Okay, so same thing is there. The problem is there. It has been reported by the device, but the message was like this, error number 53, which was not understandable. And another thing is inadequate testing was carried out because over-reliance on the concept that we are simply extending the facilities of the existing versions, that is Thirac 5 and Thirac 25. So there is no need of exhaustive testing. Okay, so exhaustive testing and safety analysis were not carried out. These are the four main reasons which results into the failure of a fully automated advanced version of Thirac 25 that resulted into the casualties of 6. And another thing is the burning of approximately I told you 25 patients, they received the serious burn injuries. So in case of AI in healthcare, if I am talking about in the modern age, okay, what are the main uses, right? We are seeing this thing, we are using diagnosis, drug dosing, triage, imaging. It can assist clinicians, but also introduce risks dependent on data quality and model reliability. These three are the important points which we will elaborate. Okay, one thing, the uses. We can make the use of it for the purpose of diagnosis. For example, some X-ray is there or some MRI is there, and you are getting this image to a AI agent, and it is analyzing it and getting you the conclusion. Okay, it can be used for the purpose of drugs monitoring, and another is in case of triage and imaging also. Sometimes we are making the use of this thing for the purpose of prevention. I will be going to discuss a very interesting case study that sometimes in case of USA, there was a case study that AI was used to identify the population which needs the extra health care. Okay. And what failures were observed, we are going to study those things also. But important thing is, will the AI substitute or replace the doctor, or will it assist? Okay. But whatever is the method, it is going to introduce the risk. Okay. Another thing is, it depends on data quality and model reliability. The performance of the AI system is depending on these two things. One, the quality of the data, which is used to train the AI device, and another is the model that you are making the use of. So if I am connecting Thirap 25 to AI risk, okay, what lesson we are going to learn? Number one, over-reliance on AI, similar to over-reliance on software. Okay, Thirap 25. Look, it's a very simple thing. If you will search the information like this, software blunder, or that is the software failures, you will see this thing, a number of case studies in which the failure of the software results into the casualties of the life. Okay, in first Gulf War also, due to a software failure, I can recollect this type of news was there during Gulf War. That was between US and the Iraq. So US was making the use of the Patriot missiles. Okay, and to counter that, the anti-ballistic missiles were used by the Iraq. So Patriot was the fully automated missiles, and just like the Iron Dome, Patriot was used in Iron Dome also by the Israel. Okay. So thing is, कि if the enemy is launching a missile, radar will locate its location and will fire the Patriot, and it will uh, kill it in the air. Right. But one particular day, it has been observed that the target was missed by the Patriot, and the enemy missiles landed into an American air base. Okay, killing approximately 25 soldiers. Reason? The software failure. Okay, again, the lesson is whenever there are some safety critical system, over reliance on the software is highly, it can be catastrophic, hazardous. Okay, so over reliance on AI, it can be a very catastrophic step. Okay, another important thing is the black box models interpretability issues. All right. Generally, nowadays, when we are making the use of the AI tools or AI, the technologies, we are simply using it just like a black box model. Okay. Thing is, you have a AI software, you are giving it the data, it is trained, and it will start behaving just like an expert. What is happening inside it? How is it learning? You are not aware. Okay, it's simply a black box model. Interpretability issues will be there. I am going to illustrate those things. There can be the data errors, for example, errors in the treatments, and the lack of oversight can cause the patient harm. What's the meaning of these things? Uh, let's come to the point. Actually, whenever you are making the use of any AI, right? Nowadays, maximum models are making the use of the techniques like deep learning, which are based on the concept of induction, learning by induction, inductive inference. You will have to provide it the data. The data is generally the labeled one. So train and test model is there. First of all, you are training it and then you are testing it. So you are having the training data and you are having the testing data. Okay, using that data, the software will learn and it will start working. Now the performance of that AI system is going to depend on the quality of that data. But we have observed in the past that there are the data biases and there are the algorithmic biases. Okay, if the AI models are trained on biased data, they may perpetuate or worsen the health disparity among the different community groups. Okay, in the very beginning, I talked about the community. Okay, what I am telling you, I'm going to discuss a particular example that the AI-based system resulted into the health disparity among the different community groups. Okay. Algorithmic bias occurs when an AI system outputs are systematically prejudiced due to the flawed assumptions in the algorithm or the biased training data. Okay. And in particular, in healthcare, it can replicate and even amplify the existing human biases, leading to unequal access to healthcare and worsening health disparities. Okay, listen, in morning also, I was in a particular program, and that program was about the this thing, moot court. It was organized by in my university by the Institute of this. Uh, there is a law department, And generally, they are organizing a program that is known as moot court. Okay. So in that program, the students are given the simply exposure of the real life course. Okay. So basically, this is a sort of practical in case of the program like LLB. So I've been asked to say a few words about that also, but I told them that this, as far as law is concerned, it is not my cup of tea. It's not my uh, favorite topic. But what I saw that there is the similarity between the law and the computer science. And the similarity between these two fields is that both of them are making the use of the structured language. Okay. In case of computer science, we are saying this thing that we are the coders. And coding is basically the process of writing the programs, and program is simply a set of instructions written in some structured language. Okay. The language is not the natural language. So there is no ambiguity, no confusion. In case of law also, the same things are there. If they are making the use of some particular statute, what is that? It is simply a structured instruction that under these conditions, if these are the premises and if these are satisfied, this will be the outcome. Okay. So both of them are making the use of the structured language. But as in case of law also, it has been there that suppose you are a judge and you are seeing a particular case, and in that particular case, you are seeing this thing that all the existing IPCs and the statutes, if you are making the use of that in this particular situation, they will not be getting you a satisfactory conclusion. Okay. It will not be good to make the use of those. Because look, whenever this type of books are written in which there are the different statutes or instructions, these are designed on the basis of the information which is available to the designer. And they cannot foresee each and everything. So the contents in that particular book will be depending on their knowledge and on their vision also. A very simple example is that if some book of law is written in 1950s and 60s, and which at that time the internet is not there, you can understand that there will be no rule with respect to the cybercrime. Okay, so all these IT acts were introduced in 2000. So thing is, this type of situations may arise. So what you are doing in this type of situation, you are simply seeing the experiences of other judges that in a similar case, that in particular, that similar court, okay, that judge has given this decision. So it becomes a rule. And you are citing that particular decision and you are taking the same decision. Okay, so this is simply the example of learning by induction. You are learning by making the use of induction, that is examples, and that is the data. What is machine learning? The same thing. You are giving it the data and it is learning. So again, code is law and law is code. Okay. If I am talking about the healthcare, again, the things are same. If I am talking about the doctors also, in their working, there is no question of ambiguity. Okay. If they have studied something, that if this is the symptom, then this is the disease, and if this is the disease, then this is the medicine. Okay. If all the premises are satisfied, their decisions are fine. But if some premises are satisfied, say 80% or 90%, so this they cannot conclude with a guarantee. What they will do, they will make the use of the experiences, they will be making the use of the experiences of others, and basically learning from the examples. Okay. And when the AI systems are trained, they are doing the same thing in the field of healthcare, and they are learning like this. So ultimately, our knowledge or the knowledge of an advocate or the knowledge of an AI system, it is depending on the examples on the data. But if there is a bias in the data, it can result into a wrong learning. And in the systems which are the safety critical systems, this Wrong learning, it can be hazardous, it can be catastrophic. Okay. And thing is this particular case study, which I am going to discuss with you right now. Basically, in US in 2019, right, an AI system was designed. And what was the goal? The goal was to identify the high risk patients who were sick and needed extra care management like follow up nurses or specialized appointments. So basically, you have a population, and generally, that is a big one. No doubt you will have to care each and every one, but you cannot focus on each and every one. So your objective is to identify those which are the high risk patients who needed extra care. Just like a shopkeeper, you have a shop, there are a number of items in it, maybe say 1,000. No doubt, to ensure the good sale, you will have to ensure the availability of each and every item. But if there are 1,000 items, you cannot focus on each and every one. So the management department is teaching you this thing that you will have to go for a type of analysis which is known as ABC analysis. And basically the analysis is saying this thing that you will have to categorize the items into three categories: A, B, and C. Okay. So A categories items on the basis of Zipf's law, or using, you can say, the Pareto principles, or making the use of Power law. Okay, are those 10% items which are contributing approximately to the 70% of the sale. Okay. And generally, it has been observed that there are 70% items which are contributing only to the 10% sale. So, as a good shopkeeper, my objective will be to ensure the availability of those 10% items. Okay. If those are not available, it can result into a twofold loss. There can be a loss of sale and there can be a loss of goodwill. Okay. So basically this approach, it is there in the stock, it is there in the inventory, it is there in healthcare, and all these are based on the Pareto's principle, a famous scientist, I think from Italy, who was studying the land holding of the farmers there. And he identified this thing that approximately 10% farmers are there which are having the 90% land holding. Okay. Then he studied the economics of other countries also and finding the same thing. Then he studies the other domains also, and he is surprised to see this thing that everywhere the same thing is there, that there are 90%, 10% things which are contributing to the 90%. Okay, so this is simply a 10-90 principle. So if I will have to design a sustainable good healthcare system, okay, I will have to identify those 10% or 5% high risk patients who were sick and needed extra care management. Okay. So the task is, the algorithm was designed to predict which patients would need the most care, supposedly based on their health status. So the data was given to the AI systems, and the task of it was to identify those patients who need the most care. What the algorithm did, it was AI based. It did not directly measure how sick a patient was. Okay. So to find out the health conditions of a patient, whether it needs extra care or not the extra care, it did not make the use of the health record. Rather, it used the indirect data. Okay. It used past healthcare spending as a proxy for health needs. A simple idea is, say I have two patients, one is X, another is Y, and I have been told like this, that X is spending approximately 10,000 rupees every month on its health, while Y is spending only 100 rupees. So it will get me the idea of this thing, that health conditions of X are not good, so it needs extra care. Okay, so how much money has been spent by you on healthcare can be a reflector of your health condition. It's an indirect method. Okay. So the flawed assumption in this case is the higher spending, the sicker patient. Okay, if you spend more, you are sick more. Okay, so it was basically a systematic flaw, right? Due to the systemic inequalities, Black patients at the same level of illness had an average lower healthcare spending than white patients. In US, whites are more rich in comparison to the black. So for the same disease, whites are spending more in comparison to the black. If you are very poor, it's not depending upon your disease or your health condition, how much you are spending on that particular thing. If you do not have the money, okay. And if you have the plenty of money, okay, you can spend millions of the dollar on simply the preventive medication also. Okay. So the reality is less access to care, lower is the spending. Okay. So if you have less money, your spending is less, so less access to the care. So basically the assumption that has been used by the AI system was the flawed one. And this was the result. White patients, they were assigned 82% score, and black patients, they were assigned 18%. Okay, so its meaning is if 100 patients have been identified for extra care, out of those 100, 82% were white and 18% were black only. So this is the disparity in the assigned risk scores. The study found that at the same level of chronic illness, black patients were assigned significantly lower risk scores. Only 18% of black patients who needed extra care were identified by the algorithm in compared to the 82% of the white patients. Okay, this is an example of beta bias or the algorithmic bias, and you are seeing this thing, how it results into the failure of the healthcare system for a sustainable communities. It's not if I am saying this is the case with healthcare. No, I am saying this thing. Systems are same. The difference is there on the data. Okay, same type of problems. The data bias or the algorithmic bias has been identified in other areas, in other fields also. Amazon, the company, right? It used once an AI-based system for the purpose of recruitment. The system was trained to carry out the recruitment process. Recruitment process means identify the employees, analyze their CVs, okay, carry out the interviews, carry out the selection process, and so on. In order to train it, it has been given the data of approximately 50,000 employees. Okay, all the information was provided, their characteristics, their attributes, their performances. Okay, the system learned this thing, right? And during the recruitment process in the technical jobs, systematically, it starts rejecting the female candidates. The reason was the data that has been given to it, to train it. Okay, in maximum technical jobs, in that data, male participants, male candidates were there. What the system learned, that in technical jobs, male are better than female. Okay, and this thing results into the systematic rejection of the female candidates. Very soon, the problem was realized by the Amazon, and the use of AI for the purpose of recruitment has been discontinued. This example, previous example, and the example from Talk 25, at least getting us one lesson, right? That over-reliance can be very risky proposition. Okay, so thing is, number one, We cannot say that we will not make the use of software, we will not make the use of computer, we will not make the use of AI. Whatever I will be telling right now, one thing I am sure that the use of AI will keep on increasing and the AI will keep on improving, right? But thing is that in all those systems which are safety critical systems, we will have to make the use of this thing very carefully. For example, in case of healthcare, in case of war, in case of law, etc. So basically, algorithmic bias is number one, there are biased data sources. Training data that is not diverse is sourced from a system with historical inequalities, data from only one demographic. Okay, look, this can be the reason. For example, you are collecting the data and the data is belonging to one demography only. Okay, listen, once a software was trained for pattern recognition for the purpose of face recognition. Okay, it has been tested successfully. But the only problem with it is it has not been trained with the data of black people from the Africa continent. It's a real life example. Software was designed in some European country to recognize the face of the human being, and that has been trained by using the data of white people only. Okay, when the software was used by the for this black people, okay, erroneously it identified it as a chimpanzee. Okay, so the problem is not there with the software, the problem is not there with the AI. The problem is there that you are training the data which is not having the sufficient diversity. Okay, the data is belonging to only one demography. There can be the flawed proxies also. Using a variable like healthcare spending, zip code for insurance type. Okay, that is sometimes when we are not making the use of direct measures, we are making the use of indirect measures and making the use of a wrong assumption. That is itself a product of systemic bias. Okay, then there can be the human bias also. AI models learning and codify the implicit biases already present in the decisions of human doctors and clinicians. Okay, so basically AI, as we define that this is simply the imitation of intelligent behavior in human being. Okay, and in nowadays we are designing the AI systems which are maximum time based on the concept of inductive inference. You give it, or you can say the supervised learning. You give it the label data and it will be trained. Okay. If that the label data is having the error, it is flawed, it's having the bias, and that bias no doubt will be there due to the human being. Okay. It will be again a biased AI system. Now the question is, ultimately we will have to use it. What can be the approach to mitigate this thing? Mitigation. The approaches are audit and transparency, diverse data, fairness metrics, and ethical reviews. Okay. So regularly testing algorithms for bias before and after deployment with independent reviews. Okay. It is required. Another very important thing is the diverse data. Using representative and inclusive data sets for training, actively seeking and including the data from the underrepresented groups also. Okay, so basically the data which you are using to train the software Number one, it must have the diversity. Okay, that is, it is to be the representative of every section of the population. Okay, so that's why generally we are saying this thing that data is to be huge in size. Understanding again, it may be flawed sometimes that if data is used, then there will be the diversity. Sometimes it may not be the case. Okay, you have seen this thing. I have discussed an example. The Amazon recruitment software has been trained by using the data of approximately 50,000 employees. Okay, but it was not including the data from underrepresented groups. So we have to ensure this thing. Demography, it must have the diversity. Okay, every group's representation, it should be there. Then fairness matrices. Designing AI with fairness as a primary objective, not just the accuracy. Okay, it will become accurate with the passage of time. But when we are designing it, our main objective is to be the fairness. Then there are to be the ethical reviews involving diverse teams, including uh, ethicists, clinicians, and community members in the AI development life cycle. Okay, so it is to be reviewed by these members. And one very important component, if we are going to use AI in healthcare, is XAI. Okay, that is the explainable AI. In case of Shark 25 also, I told you this thing that one reason of the failure was the user interface, and another reason of the failure was the cryptic error message. The system was generating the error message, but saying this thing that this is the error number 53. What is the meaning of that? You don't know. Okay, you will have to open the manual, locate that particular page, and then you will have to interpret it. So this was one problem. Okay, explainable AI, right? Look, when you are going to visit any doctor, okay, generally you are asking two, three questions. What, why, how, etc. Okay. For example, you are telling the symptoms and the doctor is saying this thing, okay, you take this medicine. So you will never be satisfied. You will ask this thing, why I should take this medicine? And doctor may be saying you this thing, okay, you have this particular disease, say you have the flu, right? Then you will ask this thing, how you can say I have the flu? And there is to be this type of reasoning from the doctor. I understand that you have the headache, you have the body ache, you have the high fever, and all these are the symptoms of the flu. That's why I'm concluding that this is the flu. Okay. So basically, this explanation is to be there. If I am saying that I am going to make the use of AI in healthcare, it is to be an XAI. XAI, it refers to the AI systems whose decisions can be understood and interpreted by humans. Now, this is now creating the problem because nowadays the AI systems which are designed, we are using them simply as a black box model. Okay, it may be making a use of some artificial neural network. Okay, it may be making the use of some threshold function, right? And you don't know what's the function has been used. Okay, what type of neural network is there? What is the, you can say, back propagation algorithm? What learning mechanism has been used by it? Simply you have been told this thing that this is the AI software, you are giving it this data and it is getting you this inference and it has learned. Okay, the system has been trained. You are not explained the way it is giving you the explanation. Okay, so it explains how and why a model makes prediction. If I am saying that there is an XAI, it will explain how and why a model makes predictions. So key questions are why this diagnosis and which factors were most important and how confident is the model. Okay, so simply a conclusion is not sufficient for you. You need the answer of these questions also. So XAI in healthcare, that is explainable AI, it's a safety critical field. Errors can be fatal. Doctors must justify AI-driven decisions, improve trust between clinicians and technology, and help detect bias and errors in models. Okay, so basically healthcare, it's a safety critical field. Okay, and in this case, you cannot afford the fault, right? Look, there are some fields in which one thing is very clear. If you are having a software, bugs and errors can be there. There is an old saying that if debugging is the process of removing the bugs, then programming is the process of introducing the bugs. So whenever you are writing a program, you are introducing the bugs. Bugs will always be there. Okay, we can design a reliable software, but we cannot design a fault-free software. So errors will always be there. But in case of some systems, if there is an error and there is a failure due to an error, the consequences of that can be the maybe slight discomfort, or sometimes maybe some financial loss also. Okay, say if I am using an AI based systems for purchasing the shares in the stock market, an error and a wrong result may result into some heavy financial loss to me. That can be there. Okay, but in case of healthcare system, so I am saying that you have a pacemaker which is controlling your heartbeats, and it is AI controlled, and if there is a failure, it can be fatal. That particular error, it can result into a casualty. Okay, so in this type of systems, failure is not an acceptable thing. Okay, so doctors must justify the AI driven decisions. So if some AI system is getting you the decision, no, that is not sufficient. AI decision is to be simply supplemented by some doctor. These are to be used simply to assist the doctor and improve the trust between clinicians and technology, and helps detect bias and errors in models. So these are some explainable AI applications in healthcare. In radiology, explains highlighted regions in X-rays or MRIs. Okay. ICU predictions clarifies which parameters affect risk. Drug dosing AI shows how doses is derived from patients' data. Triage systems justify why one patient gets higher priority. Okay, already I have discussed the case study for this thing. But these are the challenges. Difficult to interpret deep neural networks fully. Okay, the neural network is getting the results and you are satisfied with the results. But look, in this type of systems, who are to explain their reasoning process, that reasoning process is to be comprehensible to you. Okay. For example, if I am saying this thing that in this particular field, to solve this problem, my reasoning process is this. So if I am using the AI system, its reasoning process will be understandable to me if it is matching my reasoning process. Okay. If it is solving that problem using any other approach which is not used by the human being, it is not understandable. Okay. So sometimes the use of this deep neural network, it's very difficult. It is used simply as a black box model. Explanations sometimes may oversimplify the complex models, and risk of over-trusting imperfect explanations and balancing interpretability with accuracy. So these are the XAI and the THRAP 25 lessons. Okay. THRAP 25, it lacked the transparency. Operator could not understand the errors. This was the first problem. Okay. The problems has been observed from the very beginning in the uses of Thirag 25. It was producing this type of error messages like error number 53. But transparency was not there. Operators were not able to understand that thing. Okay. Explainable AI, it will ensure that AI systems are transparent and auditable. Okay. If they are getting you some advice that is transparent, it is explaining you your reasoning process, and that reasoning process can be audited by some expert doctors. Both highlight the need for explainability in safety critical systems. So in any safety critical systems, I'm not saying in healthcare. Okay, if we are making the use of AI, it is to be the explainable AI, that is XAI. Sorry, this slide is repeated. So key safety lessons are AI, it must assist, not replace the clinicians. It requires explainability and transparency, robust testing plus real world validation. Okay, testing is to be carried out on the real world data. Maintain hardware and human safety interlocks. Okay, till date, I'm saying this thing that we cannot rely 100% on the software. Okay, in Thrak 25 also, it was a very advanced machine. In Thrak 5 and Thrak 20, no problem has been observed. The reason is if the radiation is increasing due to the software, there was a hardware law that whenever it is crossing, say the 30 point or 35 point, the hardware is locking it. Okay. In case of Thrak 25, there was a over-reliance on the software. It was assumed that software will not fail, and those hardware locks were removed. I am saying in case of AI system, if there are hardware locks or there are human locks, we have to maintain them. Right now, we cannot say this thing that we can 100% rely on it. And another thing is continuous monitoring after deployment. It is there. So basically, Threat 25, it's a reminder that software errors in healthcare can be fatal, and AI systems must be built with strong safety, ethics, oversights, and human accountabilities. Okay, so one thing I'll with a note to conclude. Number one, AI is such a technology which will be there. Now we are observing this thing that there are a number of governments, they are talking about the ethical AI, they are designing this type of rules and the acts, etc., that in this field you can use AI or here you cannot make the use of AI or you cannot use super AI. No, these things sooner or later will vanish. You are going to see this thing that AI is here and it will remain there. It is around us, it will be there. Okay. Over the times, it will mature. It will become better and better. Okay. We cannot stop it. We have to learn to live with it. We have to learn how to use it. Okay. But till this date, over reliance on AI, I am saying, may not be there in future. I understand it can be there. It's getting us a number of advantages, but if it is used with some human logs, the advantages are manifold. So thank you. This is the conclusion. And now in the rest of the time, if you have any query, I am available. Please, over to Dr. Pooja.
Thank you, sir, for this engaging and insightful session. I hope everyone have enjoyed the session. We truly appreciate the time and effort you took to share your valuable insights with us. And it has been really a pleasure learning from your rich experience and your deep expertise. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, all the participants.
Thank you. Yes.
I have one question, if possible.
Yeah.
Sir, uh, can you explain? See, what are the main challenges in implementing XAI? The major challenges.
Look, thing is, uh, whenever we are solving some problem,
Mm,
okay, we have got some approach of solving the problem, right?
जी,
And the machines are having its own assets and resources. And the main asset of the machine is its computing capability and its
definitely.
storage. Okay. It can process more data than us.
जी,
So
जी, जी.
it can make the use of those techniques also to solve the problem which cannot be used by the human being, which are highly calculating computing intensive. So that may be solving that particular problem by making the use of those calculations. Okay, and maybe getting the same inference which has been made by you. Okay, but approach are different.
जी.
So its approach will not be understandable to you. Okay. For example, if I am talking about in healthcare system also, if you will get me the unlimited resources, right?
Yeah.
Say, I am saying I have the world's biggest library available, which I can locate in the fraction of second.
जी,
I
जी.
am having a lab in which I can conduct every test, medical test of the world. You are getting me a patient. I'm not listing its symptoms. I am saying, okay, put him in this machine and conduct all the tests.
जी, sir.
Okay, I will get the result, right?
जी.
I will make the use of the library. It will say,
Okay.
okay, if these are the symptoms, this is the disease, and this is the medicine. I understand this is going to be the best result.
Okay.
Okay.
Fine.
But
Thank you,
this
sir.
approach is
Thank you.
never used by any human being.
Thank
Okay.
you, sir.
This is simply an example. So if computer is making the use of this type of approach to solve some problem, that is not an explainable AI because it is not comprehensible to the human being.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Please.
Thank you.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, I am Dr. Tayinder Kaur.
Mm-hmm.
Sir, I am working in AI healthcare. I am facing data set problems. So I have
Okay.
first one question. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
First question, sir. What kind of a healthcare data set are most suitable for implementing XAI technique?
What type of data? Look, data is there to train the system, right? Explainability is concerned with the model.
Okay.
Uh, I am telling you there are two components. One thing is the model and another is the data. Okay. Explainability has nothing to do with the
Hello.
data. Yeah.
Hello.
Yes. Am I audible?
हाँ जी sir, audible.
Uh, I am saying this thing that this explainability, it is concerned with the model, right? It is not concerned with the data. Okay. Using the data, you are training the system, right? But if it is getting you some conclusion, the system, the trained AI, you will have to explain its reasoning process. So in the model, this component is to be there, the self-explanation facility. That system is explaining its reasoning process. That I have come to this conclusion because I did this thing, then I did this thing. I identified this data and I found that these are the symptoms which are the reflector of this particular type of disease. Okay, so that is the part of the model, not the part of the data.
Okay.
Yeah.
But with this, sir, how can patients' privacy be maintained while using data set for AI research and model training?
Privacy preservation.
Yes.
You are talking about this thing?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, basically, the field that is not as such the field of AI, but thing is, it's very important. In India, also, the government of India in 23 has introduced the Act Digital Privacy Data Protection Act, DPDP Act. And the act is saying this thing also, that if you are disclosing the data, some private data to someone, some organization may be fined to the tune of 250 crore rupees. The maximum fine is 250 crore rupees also. Okay. So privacy is a very important issue, and it's very important as far as this healthcare system is concerned, right? How to preserve it? There are the fields like this, that there are some data which are reflector of this type of things, so that the identity of the people can be detected. So that is to be replaced. For example, if the name is there, or the date of birth is there, or ethnicity is there, etc., such type of data is to be masked. Okay. And no doubt, it's a part of, you can say, the data filtering and data pre-processing techniques. And again, the AI techniques are there which can identify this type of data and can mask it. Okay. Which can disclose the privacy of any patient.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Mm.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, I had one question. Like,
Yeah.
if we are talking about the emotional intelligence system, then can we
Mm.
have some means association of this particular system with explainable AI?
Emotional intelligent system.
Uh, yeah, like explainable AI means we are asking why this happened. So, if a system is designed, or like if we think to design such a system, then could it be a part of explainable AI?
Look, first of all, we have to understand what's the meaning of explainable AI and where it is required. Okay. Because everywhere we don't need any explanation. For example, if I am making the use of my fan here, so I know this thing, that this is a switch, you press it and the fan will start running. I don't need any explanation what is happening inside this fan. How is it working? I am ready to accept it as a black box solution. Right? But I am not ready to accept such type of solution from my doctor. I am telling my doctor that I have the headache and he is getting me, okay, this is the medicine, you take it. Right? I will ask this thing, why should I take it? What is there in this medicine? Right? If he is saying this thing that you have particular this disease, I may ask this thing, ki, how can you conclude from this symptom that I have this disease? Have you conducted any test? If in my test you are seeing this thing, what is the meaning of this thing? Okay. Even now you are seeing this thing, that this type of rules have been passed, that the doctor's handwritings, it is to be clearly legible. What's the reason of that? That patient has the right
Okay,
to
sir.
know the things. Okay. So there are systems in which the explanation is required, and there are systems in which explanation is not required. I'm telling you. So everywhere we don't need XAI. Okay. XAI is
Fine.
simply saying this thing, that if system is concluding something, it has to explain that particular process, how it has concluded this thing. Okay. So everywhere in any field, if you understand the system is concluding this thing, it has to explain it. But sometimes such type of models are used which are difficult to explain. Okay, because in
Okay, sir.
human beings also we have seen this problem. Sometimes the doctor is saying this thing, that you have this disease. You are asking, how can you say this thing? He say, I don't know. I simply having the gut feeling. The reason is simply the expertise. It is subconscious and intuitive in knowledge. Okay, so that is difficult to verbalize. So this is the problem with the human being also, but it is required. It's a desirable characteristic.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, please.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Can we say this is another term, explainable AI is another term for expert system?
No, it's not an other term for expert system, but in case of expert system also there is one component. Okay, expert system is having three major components. We are saying this thing. The knowledge base is there, and the inference engine is there, and the user interface is there. Okay, these three are the major components, but one another important component there is the self-explanation facility. Okay. So in case of expert system also, this is a component. And in expert system, this AI system also, it's simply a component. It's not, I am saying, any field of AI, right? Or any other different type of AI. If AI is there, in some AI systems, I am saying that this extra facility is required to make it usable, to make it useful.
Sir, I think key means we can use this XAI, especially in healthcare and finance. What I feel. What are the another field where we can use this XAI?
Judiciary, law,
लाइक जैसे फाइनेंस में हम इसको यूज़ पर कर पा रहे हैं इन फाइनेंस एंड इन द सेम वे हेल्थ केयर
yeah.
what I feel from this lecture. But in another field, can you explain? कि in this field we can also use this XAI like.
No, look, when I told you this thing that generally in safety critical systems it is required. For
हम्म
example, I am saying, say you are an advocate,
हाँ
okay,
okay.
and you are pleading the case of your client, right?
Yeah.
There can be the different reasonings also. So one reasoning can be this, another can be this. So if you are saying this thing, I am going to make the use of this reasoning with the judge. So your client can ask you this thing, why this is the case. Then you can cite this thing. I am going to use this thing because in the past I have seen this type of examples. In other courts also, it was successful. This can be one reason. So generally in
Safety
safety critical
critical.
systems mean where if the failure then the results can be, you can say the human casualties can be there, or so very heavy financial losses may be there. So there the explanation is required.
So, sir, how much risk we can feel as per your experience in this XAI?
Mhm.
How much risk wrong interpretation results?
In AI,
Yeah, in XAI, especially like this particular tool you are discussing.
look, thing is, I have used one particular example of US case study. The
Okay,
objective was to identify the high risk patients.
hi.
Okay, patients which needs extra care. How will you identify this thing? Okay, in your university also, in your institute also, sometimes your progress is to be monitored. One factor or one method of monitoring the progress is that you have been given the grant of say 100 crore rupees and you have spent 70 crore. Okay,
Okay,
this is simply an indirect reflector, right? In the same fashion, a very, you can say, crude approach is if I am saying this thing that this is a person on which every month 1 lakhs are spent on the healthcare and on this patient only 1000s are spent. Okay, so my intuition is saying this thing that this particular one on which 1 lakhs are spent needs extra healthcare, right?
okay,
But
okay,
this may be a flawed assumption sometimes. If I am using it, it is to be supported by some other parameters also. One
okay.
who is spending 1000 rupees may be a very poor person who do not have the money but may be having a lot of health problems. Okay.
Definitely.
So thing is, I am making the use of only one parameter. And if I will explain this thing that I am concluding on the basis of this parameter, then any human inter agent, say some doctor, will identify this thing that this inference is not a good inference because the parameter has been used by it is not sufficient. Okay.
Okay.
If this explanation facility is not there, then you will rely on it and it will get you the wrong results.
Maybe we can use in evaluation also if digital marking is going on. Then
Yeah,
there also we can use how why this much marks has been given for this particular question.
exactly. The thing is, look, in manual systems also, if you can see earlier in Kurukshetra University, this type of system was there, but not now. Say in 80s or 90s, there were examiners and there is an head examiners also, which were doing the sample checking. Say if 100 answer sheets has been evaluated, so there is one head examiner who is evaluating, say out of 100, the 5 1, right? To check this thing, whether the results are correct or not correct. Same thing is there. If you are having some this type of software which is doing the evaluation, number one, on sample basis, you can ask its reasoning. How can you conclude that this much awards has been given? And those awards has to be verified by the human being. I told you this thing in my very last slide that this type of software needs continuous monitoring after deployment. Okay. They need some monitoring because these type of systems are improving continuously. They are evolving. It's an evolving phase now.
But sir, you have mentioned it, but sir, you does the XI improve transparency and trust in
Yes.
AI healthcare solutions?
XAI improves transparency in every system, right? But what I am telling you, in some systems, we do not need the transparency. Okay. Sometimes we are ready to accept the solution as a black box model also, right? A simple example is there. Say you have a juicer. From this end, I am getting the orange, and from this end, I am getting the juice. What is happening inside it, I am not bothered. Okay, I am ready to accept it as a black box model. But in some systems, I am not ready to accept the black box. I need the white box. I need the process also, how it is carried out.
Okay.
Okay. For example, the person, Mr. Dr. Suresh Kumar was talking about the examination system also. Why the student is asking for the revaluation or rechecking? Maximum time the approach is black box. He has answered and you are giving the awards. Maximum time he is not satisfied, but if he is not satisfied, then he is asking for the rechecking and asking you this thing, okay, explain me why you have given me this many hours. Okay. So whenever this type of rechecking or revaluation or reshowing of the answer sheets is there, they are there to improve the transparency.
Okay, sir.
Mm.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay.
So I request all the participants to turn on their cameras. Let's have a group photo. Done, sir. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, sir, for such an insightful and enriching session.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. You can all
Right.
drop the call.